Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Making sure everything's looking all right. Got a lot to get through tonight. Well, it's not that much, but it's enough. We probably won't even get through everything, knowing that I gotta go to bed early tonight. But waiting for anyone to. Let me get myself. Got my drinks right here, and all the other stuff. I don't know. Hey there, Brett. What's good? What was I doing? Wait, why did I open this? I opened up... Yeah, we'll be getting started momentarily, so... What was that supposed to... Yeah, I don't really have anything to talk about right now. I've been fine. Got done with work. My head is... There, that's better. Hopefully, my updated model will be done within the week or so. It was... I can't remember when they messaged me about it, but I am very excited to see the updated facial expressions. As I tried to get them working on my own, but I'm not familiar with how it actually works. But I got done with work early, and so I came home early. Not really much to report on that front. It's pretty much the same as it's always been. 200 meter and 25 in the main pool, in the learner's pool. All right, that's nice to hear. Yeah, I don't really have anything else right now. So yeah, I mean, yes, the main highlight for the stream will definitely be the Kami Mommy's latest video. You went back on your last register where I left off. Oh, did you see me rage quit at the end? Because I was like, oh my god, I don't understand how some people do it. I think I'm better at Sonic Adventure 1 than I am at 2. I don't know what it is. I'm sure there's reasons for that, but maybe I'm just not used to it. I'll figure it out, like perhaps on Monday, because that's the other gaming stream. Yeah, we'll see what happens on Monday. I don't remember how many levels are after that, but yeah. I don't know if I'll have the motivation to get all of the emblems. I don't exactly know what that would entail, or whether or not I'd have the patience to do all that, knowing me. Yeah, you helped me out in some parts. I do know that when people do speedruns of the game, they usually skip some of those power-ups because they're not as fast. Is Crazy Gadget that hard? No. I should attempt to do some of the speedrun skips, because I know that there's like... I don't remember which one it is, but there's a skip where you just fall. My frustration's valid. Well, I've been frustrated quite a bit by the collision detection of the game. Shit. And the controls, too. Granted, I know that I vaguely remember Sonic Adventure 1 being sort of like that, but damn. I'm just saying. Oh man, but no, I want to learn. No, we should do that at some point. Just try to learn the speed run, because as they say, walls in Sonic games are not rules. They're more like suggestions. I have gotten, I think, out of bounds like twice in one of the Knuckles levels. I don't remember which one it was. It was the one where you have to change the water level. I got out of bounds like twice. But at least I was able to get back in bounds. So, no, we'll see. We'll skip entire levels for the sake of the speed run. Granted, I don't remember what the Dark Story speed run looks like. I've just seen the hero story more than once. But yeah, no, it's the collision detection more than anything else. And apparently you have to hold down the action button to do the spin dash instead of just pressing it rapidly. You've gotten out of bounds before in Death Chamber. Yeah, it's weird. Let's see. I don't have anything else to talk about right now, but we'll figure it out. We'll finish the rest of that on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Which as is the new routine, starting early on Mondays, right? Yeah, because I don't work that day, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. All right. Let's see. I do not have anything else to talk about right now, unless anyone has any last-minute things. Mad Space. I don't know if I've come across that. Yeah, chicken and chips for dinner. I had little bagel sandwiches. So, yeah, that's what I've been having. Yeah, I guess I'll wait and see what Mad Space is all about. Oh, Lord of mercy. Is that the one, or am I thinking of a different one? Which is the one that in the speed run, you just fall in an attempt to avoid the kill plane. You just fall towards the end. The hints are backwards. I'm trying to remember which level in Sonic's story is the one where you have to get out of bounds in a certain way and you just keep falling and falling. You're already out in space. Unless Crazy Gadget is that one. But, yeah. Okay, here. I don't have anything else to talk about. Let me go ahead and, yeah. You're gonna go to head. Oh, okay. Alright, Pinnacle, take care. If you gotta go to bed, yeah. Seems like everyone's wanting to fix the sleep schedules, yeah. I would like to, but I'm one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of guys. But at the same time, it does. Oh, you play as Rouge? Okay. Oh, well then. Alright, I see. But I want to fix my sleep schedule because then I would be able to stream earlier in the night. But I don't really have any motivation to do that. But if you're gonna head off to bed, I may as well move on over. Before we get to the shoe on head video, I actually really do want to look at. I wanted to look at this the other night or yesterday, but we had other plans. It's a new Yu-Gi-Oh card game short featuring the Spirit Charmers. This one's Win the Wind Charmer. I guess there's going to be I'm guessing there's going to be an episode for all 4 girls. I've seen the first one on my own. That was about, I think it was Area, the Water Charmer. We looked at the previous one, I think last month, and that one was Hida, the Fire Charmer, and this one's going to be Win the Wind Charmer. So let's go ahead and check it out. And of course I will be dubbing over it since it's in Japanese. Toidle. I like turtles. Seriously? You two overdid it. Gomen nasai. Sorry. Alright. Oh yeah, there's a new structure deck based around them that came out. Although, from what I've been told, it's not that great. Win the Wind Charmer. Oh, that's right. She was looking at the konnichiwa. Well, technically, where I live, you would have to say konbawa, but... Oh yeah, Win was investigating this little thingamajig. Here goes my full power! Hida, control it! Eh? God damn it, Hida. No, not the Toidle. Nondaro. What is this? Well, it looks like a turtle shell. Actually, it might be a tortoise. Apparently, turtles like the water, whereas tortoises tend to prefer land. It's getting dark. We should head back. What? I was just getting started. We're so sorry. There, we're all friends now. While you were at the pool, you were in lane 6. Nice. Glad it worked out, you two. But why was it all the way out there? Maybe it got lost. It wants to play with everyone. Alright then, let's. Hida, you're training with me. Ooh. Your control over your spiritual powers is unstable. Move that big boulder. We need more practice. Oh, I want to play too. Okay, let's play together. Yes. Ichi, ni, san, shi, 4. Of course, it wouldn't be an anime girl thing without. We're learning the magical arts. Is this based on a card? I don't remember what this may have been. They're already buddy-buddy. But what should we do about this little one? I'll take care of it. Well, even so, it's strange that it was out there all by itself. Maybe its friends or family are nearby. It's family. We can go look when we get back to the boulder tomorrow. Is that okay, Win? Of course. Alright, it's decided then. Let's eat up and crash. Big day tomorrow. We'll find your family, okay? We're gonna find the little tortoise's family. Oh, that must be a giant shell then. Alright, time to show the fruits of yesterday's training. I'm ready. Hida, let's do this! Okay, at least it worked. How was that? It's still there. No, I think you could tell that that's a shell by its pattern. No good. How'd it go? Nothing on my end either. If it won't budge at all, maybe there's some kind of trick to it. What should we do? What's wrong? Me. Me, May man. You gotta oh, Lord have mercy. Nanda. Okay, it is a turtle, I figured. Or tortoise. I have no idea if this is an actual card, though. No way! Is that your mom? Well, we found mommy. Mama. Take care. Win. I'm glad they're back together. Uh-oh. Oh. They're about to get deeper in this dungeon. So, does that mean we passed the trial? That was what all this struggle was for? Oh, their little book. It says, the next one is the final trial. Let's go! And I'm guessing next one is Asa. Alright, that was cute. Yeah, they've been doing these like they've been doing these little card animations like once a month, I think. So we'll wait till next month and see what we go for there. I hope they get to the Vsauce lore. Or whatever. And before they unban some of the tier limit cards, but... Alright, let's see. I don't know. Okay, so now that we're all warmed up, I think it's time that we get to the main item of our discussion for this stream, and that is Shunwanhead's latest video about the cult of the cry bullies, why people hate, quote, the left. And of course, when people say that, what they really mean is the radical left, because, you know, they like to think of themselves as the left in general, even though Hamas Diddy bin Laden Adolf Epstein Piker has gone on record saying that he hates the left, that he hates woke, that he hates fucking streaming, he hates all of his chatters. So we're already halfway there. But either way, make sure you guys go check out her original video, and then we're going to see what's going on with all these cry bullies.
And welcome to another episode of What the Hell is Going On with your host, Ugly Belle Delphine.
Real. I don't know who Belle Delphine is, although that sounds vaguely familiar.
Now, before you ask, yes, there is an Epstein Files video coming out.
All right, so she's okay. So she's on top of it. We'll be sure to check that out when that happens.
I feel like everyone has like streamer brain nowadays. And, like,
yes, I do have a streamer page. Scavenging Survival on Asia's Trash Mountain. Oh, if you can remind me after this.
Every video has to be breaking news in order to get the most views.
No shit. That's why I stopped doing it, because I don't. I wanted to when I first started streaming, I wanted to do quote unquote breaking news, but then I realized all those videos are gonna take like 2 days to edit, or they take at least 1 day to edit, and then they take another day before uploading, and then by the time that happens, it's no longer news. So instead, I'm just winging it at this point.
But I'm taking my time with it. I'm sure you understand, there is a lot happening. You know,
it doesn't seem like a lot. I haven't necessarily been keeping up with everything. I'm just seeing it every now and then. I don't know what's going on, who this Miss Ballant is, and then Pam Blondie.
With this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Oh, and this is why I don't keep up with it. Now it's just a bunch of bitches fighting each other. And this face down here is pretty much my sentiments exactly. Neither of these ladies are doing anything productive. In this face. Yeah, this is the state.
your country, sir.
Yes, welcome to
anyway, let's just forget
America.
about these satanic billionaire pedophiles running the world, and let's talk about some internet drama, shall we?
Let's go.
Because that is what's really important.
That's maybe the real internet drama were the friends that we made along the way.
For a little over a decade now, the most
Oh, and then there's the little piano riff that she's got going on in the background. We love to see it.
inane things can get you called a racist or a Nazi on
Trust me, I've bared witness to that.
the internet. To the point where these words hold little to no meaning anymore.
Yes.
It's so bad that when someone is called a racist or a Nazi online, I'm immediately like, oh, what funny joke did they tell?
No shit. No, it's like back in the day, it's like, yeah, you see that guy down the street? Yeah, he's not very fond of this group of people. And you'll be like, oh, really? But nowadays, it's a term of endearment.
But ladies and gentlemen, we have officially come to the point. We're not saying anything. Also,
I'm saying everything. Well, I'm not saying, well, I'm saying a few things. And the few things I have been saying, yeah.
makes you a racist Nazi. For the few of you watching this channel who are employed, there's a very
Yes, I am employed, so welcome to the club.
popular Twitch streamer named Emaru. She's a cosplayer.
Oh, yes, I saw Emaru was on the, yeah. She got into, like, drama at the Streamer Awards where someone tried to assault her. And then she recently got into drama like within the last week because she refused to be political. She wanted to be as apolitical as possible, but the Hamas Diddy Piker orbit did not like that, and they wanted her to comment on things, and they accuse her of being a pipeline to the alt-right, which is really just the otherwise known as the Asmongold fan base. And even when she decided to do things like condemn ICE, among other things, it's still not enough for them. The damage was already done in their eyes.
Kind of a fun, chill, normie video game streamer. Well, the other day, someone in her chat asked her opinion about ICE, and this is what she had to say.
Like, there's a certain extent where I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she didn't necessarily want to talk about it because she knew people get very heated about that stuff.
Sure, I get people wanting big content creators to, like, say their opinions on, like, important topics. I get that, right? But it's like, if you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
In a world
True.
where it seems like every single celebrity is just screaming their political takes completely unprompted, this was a refreshing thing to hear. Seems like a pretty sane, rational, inoffensive thing to say, right? Wrong. This short little clip where she ironically tried to avoid controversy ended up being one of the most controversial dramas this year. I feel like
I'm wading through the jungle.
decades worth of news has happened in the past like 2 months, don't you? Every day there's like a breaking story of the most insane shit you've ever heard in your life, and everyone is expected to have a fully formed opinion on every
I still don't have fully formed opinions on half of the stuff that goes on. I'm just living day by day at this point.
single breaking story. There's pressure to react, to pick a side, to condemn, to defend, but the reality is when
Here's the thing. I am my own side. I am the side. People talk about fence sitting. Well, guess what? I am the fence, and you're sitting on me, so why don't you get the hell off?
a story first breaks, we're usually not seeing the full picture. And that's why for years now, I have been using today's sponsor, Ground News.
Okay, let's check this sponsor out, because we're certainly not going to skip the ad at
So
all.
let's quickly give them a shout out before we jump into today's video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that lets you see how news stories are being covered all across the political spectrum.
That sounds
From left,
very
right,
convenient.
and center. Every story comes
Yeah.
with a quick visual breakdown of political bias, ownership, and headlines that helps you understand the full story
Ah, that way you don't have to get lost on one side or the other.
and really make sure you're getting both sides. They really make it fun and easy to compare headlines to see how political bias and media ownership can affect the framing of a story. For
Yeah.
example, let's take a look at
Admits that he used to snort cocaine off toilet
this
seats.
one about how RFK and
Well, Obama used to smoke weed, but nobody ever talks about that.
he used to snort cocaine off toilet seats. If you look it up on Ground News, a right-wing headline covers it like this: RFK revealed why he wasn't scared of COVID.
And it was a legendary answer. Yeah, Selena Gomez.
It was a legendary answer. And a left-wing outlet covers the same story like this:
Yes, it doesn't fear me. His reasons are really, really gross.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doesn't
Yeah,
fear
that
germs,
sounds about right. No, they can't come up with a simple title to save their lives.
and
And by simple title, I mean one that doesn't paint anyone in a negative or positive fashion.
reason is really, really gross. Same story, completely different vibes.
Yeah.
The Ground News feature I like the most is the blind spot tool. It shows you how news stories have been covered by only one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how Hillary Clinton says migration has gone too far.
And of course, only the R is covering it.
Hillary Clinton W. Suspicious. 37 sources covered it. 91% of those sources were right-wing.
Yeah.
And only 4% were left-wing. Interesting. Or this one about how
More middle-class Americans sell plasma. Who the hell is selling plasma?
class Americans are selling plasma because of financial pressure. Americans are selling their blood because they're so poor. 71% of the sources that covered this were left-wing, and only 14% were right-wing. I have been using Ground News for like 5 years now, and I am obsessed. It is one of the first apps I open when I wake up in the morning. It really helps me stay informed and
YouTube's the first app I wake up in the morning, and just so I could watch the latest More Pegasus video. And maybe some Yu-Gi-Oh updates.
it helps me keep up with the news for my videos. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center recognized Ground News as an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best
I'm
of all,
sure.
I'm currently offering 40% off their Vantage
Here,
plan, which is
anyone who wants to click on anyone who wants to analyze that, please feel free to check it out.
plan I use to access all their amazing features. This comes to only like $5 a month, which is like the price of a cup of coffee nowadays. To get the
Nowadays,
40%
the ridiculously overpriced $30 coffee in the Lego Movie.
discount, just go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code on screen right here, or
And don't forget to do this quirky little
or
dance.
click the link in the video description down below to subscribe to their Vantage plan today. Big thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, viewer,
for not skipping the ad.
as always.
Yep.
Right. And
Once again, joke's on you.
now let's get back to the video. In this video, we are going to talk about the drama surrounding Emaru, the people trying to cancel her, the mistake the left is making by embracing cancel culture again. We're gonna read some
again? When did they stop?
Insane, hilarious tweets, of course, and then we will talk about my personal experience with these people. And
yes, she in her Charlie Kirk video, she's definitely made certain sentiments very known.
What do I mean by these people? I mean the cult of the Crybullies.
Let's go. Cult of the Crybullies, otherwise known as the Hamas Piker fan base.
Sorry if I sound even more like a prepubescent boy in this video. I am a little bit sick, but I am here, slaving over a hot laptop for you. If you
So, just like a prepubescent boy, huh?
I saw my last video, you know I am quite critical of ICE. I don't think we should abolish them, of course, but I think it is good and healthy to criticize your government. I am a political culture war commentator. I talk about political topics often. People come to me to hear my political opinions.
I mean, that's what we're here for. Okay, fine. If that's the way you want to take it, fine.
Not everybody wants to be a political YouTuber or streamer. And not everybody wants to listen to a political YouTuber or streamer. Sometimes we just want to have fun and talk about other things. There are lots of other things to talk about.
Yeah, that's why I post a lot of random nonsense on my channel.
Because we want to look at funny memes or watch funny videos without having politics shoved down our throat.
No
so a lot
shit.
of people thought it was really refreshing.
Yeah, there's a number of YouTubers that who I used to really like that I've stopped watching because they kept forcing their political beliefs into their videos, and it's like, I didn't come here for this kind of diatribe. I came here to be entertained.
Refreshing when a cosplay streamer was basically like, I don't want to talk about politics. Why are you coming to me for politics? It was a perfectly sane, rational opinion. So of course, like half the internet had a problem with it. It's just not that hard to say f ICE. Really not that hard to say f ICE.
And of course they have that flag.
Be honest, it's so hard to just.
Oh wait, I just realized you just left it uncensored. Good lord.
Say f ICE. It's really not hard to say f ICE. Jesus Christ, how hard is it to just say f ICE?
I have no intentions on having sex with ICE, so not even with the ones in my fridge. Yeah, final week of February up and coming.
How hard is it to just say f ICE? How hard is it to just say f ICE and move on? Oh my god. Just say f ICE. It's not hard. Is it so hard to just say the line? Say the line. Say it. Jesus Christ.
No, I will not say it because I don't feel like it.
Like at this point, even if Emaru
I'm not giving them the satisfaction.
Did want to like abolish ICE, even if she really did think ICE, she shouldn't say it. Like I wouldn't say it at this point because this is just like, this is creepy. This is like a horde of zombies chasing after you.
Yes, trust me when I say that. There was this one particular YouTuber whose shorts I really liked until they'd said exactly what they've been saying.
Hey, it's actually super easy to stream and have opinions. I'll show you. Guys, Donald Trump and everyone in his administration, Elon Musk.
Fuck Elon Musk, and he gave internet to the people of Iran when the Iranian government shut it down.
Free Palestine. US is on stolen land built by stolen people.
Leave.
Luigi did nothing wrong. Abortion is healthcare. Leave trans people the f alone. These people literally just speak in bumpers.
Yeah, another one of your friends is a birthday. Alright, happy birthday to them.
Just like copy pasting the internet leftist starter pack. What the hell am I looking at?
That's a really good question. We're looking at something very frustrating.
I hate the Reddit ass. Hey. It's super easy.
Preddit.
It's crazy, like 1,000 years ago, this dude's ancestors were hunting mammoths. And now he's on here.
Is it 1,000 years ago?
Like, men should not be speaking like this. I'm sorry. We need another war. The post that
what kind of war?
Really seemed to
do we need another gender war? I know you've been doing that for this whole time.
Take this all off was made by Denims, the self-described
oh yes, this bitch
largest female
who says that 3 and 4-year-olds are barely making memories at that age.
A political streamer. Only because I don't stream Denims. Only because I don't stream. Anyway, I don't have any like personal beef with Denims. This isn't like an own Denims video.
Well, she's gonna come, well, now that you've pointed her out, she's gonna come after you and assume that you're part of the alt-right pipeline, so you better be ready for that.
Kinda cool years ago, but she apparently has some opinions on Emaru, so let's hear her out. Never thought I'd see the day we'd be fence-sitting the modern Gestapo. First of all, she's not fence sitting. She's just choosing not to talk about politics. Like, you're not a fence sit, you actually have to say something. She didn't even say anything. Like, how do you even know what her opinion is? Second of all, modern Gestapo? Why is everything the fucking Holocaust?
I don't know. That's a real good question. Well, they'll never say anything about the communists.
It's totally normal.
Even though Joseph Stalin killed more people than the mustachioed painter. That's a fact.
To criticize ICE. It's totally understandable to have issues with the things they are doing. But modern Gestapo? Don't you guys get tired of this shit? Like, don't you guys get tired of saying, like, isn't this
No, it's their ultimate gotcha.
Exhausting after a while? Everything is Nazis, everything is the Holocaust, everyone is Hitler. It's like nothing else bad.
Oh, trust me, I know someone at one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals that uses those terms willy-nilly like it's nothing, and The next time we're together and he and I get paired up, I'm just not going to really say much to him. I'll be like, stand by, main phase, I'll play my cards, they play theirs, and then we'll be on our merry way.
Ever happened in history? Like, what did they used to compare bad things to before World War II? Oh my god, you're literally Napoleon.
Yeah, pretty much. No, the way that it started is like here in the US, whenever you wanted to call someone bad, you, at least in like the 1800s, I think, when you wanted to call someone bad, you would literally refer to them as the Pharaoh of the Exodus. And then World War II happened, and now you're literally the mustachioed painter. It's funny how that happens, huh?
Also, I love this. Racist chud. Like, where did the racism part, like, where did that come from? Listen, I don't...
Anyone who's slightly left of the center is a racist. It's so obvious to them.
Get on camera and start talking about cars, or math, or taxes, or investing, or going outside, or the plenty of other things I don't know about. I sit here and talk about the gender war and the culture war because I'm good at those things, and that's what people watch me for.
Yes.
That is my lane, and I stay in it. Emerald likes what she's doing. Her audience likes what she's doing.
Yeah, she's just a gaming streamer, correct?
Channels
who does little cosplays. I like her. She does a really good Hatsune Miku.
Will regurgitate your political takes back to you. Just turn on the TV. Turn on CNN. Most normal people are sick and tired of celebrities just like spewing their political takes completely unprompted. I don't care what glub shitto.
Yes.
Of politics, okay?
Your grandfather was in World War II. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for his service.
Why does Glub Shitto have to get on stage and start talking about how we're on stolen land or some shit? Why do you need your political opinions thrown up into your mouth by a celebrity like a fucking baby bird? Like, do you really want Sydney Sweeney throwing up in your mouth?
No, well, I'm pretty sure some people would like that.
Please don't answer.
Because seeing as she's got great pairs of blue pants.
She is right when she says most streamers are not qualified to talk about politics. Okay, here's the thing, dude. You actually don't have to be qualified to talk about politics to say F ICE. It's not that hard of a concept.
Yes, it is.
You actually don't have to know what you're talking about in order to just say the line. What? You should look into a topic, do your own research, come to your own conclusion, and form your own opinion on the topic.
Oh, thank you. Oh, World War I. Nice.
Not just blindly, mindlessly say the line.
You know who doesn't do political content? Cutie Cinderella.
Cutie Cinderella is part of the Hassan orbit, so her argument is invalid.
Cutie Cinderella literally never does
World War I was vast, yes.
Content. And even she's capable of saying F ICE. What about Cinna? You don't have to be a political creator to recognize that it's not hard to say F ICE.
I'm not going to do it just because you want me to. I will say what I think because I can and because I will. Fuck you, if anything.
You don't have to be a political content creator to say the line. All your other friends are saying the line, Emaru. Why aren't you saying the line, Emaru?
L ICE. Okay, but unironically though, f them. Straight up. Hey, f them. Yeah, it's f them, don't care, and if you don't like that I say that, it's f you too. You know what I mean? It's really that easy for me, I'm telling you right now.
There's Emaru's roommate saying the line.
Oh, is that Emaru's roommate? I know that she used to live with Miss Kiff until the Miss Kiff got enough of her throwing Kirby plushies at him and he punches holes in the wall.
By the way, where are all her friends during all of this? Where are all her morally righteous, good guy, big streamer friends while this is all going down?
Miss Kiff is doing bullshit.
She's being dragged by half of the internet for doing absolutely nothing wrong. This girl...
You knew you saw this video before in another stream. So telling you what to say, yeah.
Who literally just came out of an allegedly abusive relationship. This girl who literally just got
Yes, I mentioned that earlier, like at TwitchCon.
Grabbed by some freak at a convention. Now this girl is going through all of this. I guess it's fine to be silent when your friend is getting dragged by half of the internet, but don't you dare stay silent about current thing. I don't even know this woman.
Sorry, I support the current thing. If anyone knows about that little meme image macro.
And I'm sticking my neck out for her because it pisses me off seeing this kind of shit happen to people who...
That would hurt. Well, it's Miss Kiff. He does it, he's done it more than once. Miss Kiff is a bit of a hothead, from what I can tell.
Who absolutely do not deserve it.
If you're above the age of 18, you should care about politics in your fucking country. You don't get to be like, well, I don't agree with this whole taxes thing.
And yet you pay...
So I'm just not gonna pay for it.
Your taxes go to Israel. You do realize that.
You can't...
Or at least some of them do.
Say like, well, I'm just not gonna care.
So maybe you should stop paying them, Emaru. Or no, not... God damn it, no. Denims. I'm stupid.
With politics stuff.
When someone doesn't have an opinion on a political topic, people like you might get a little mad. When someone doesn't pay their taxes, the government comes and arrests them. Okay, so that's the difference between those things.
There's this weird idea in America especially, where like, you can just be an adult and be like, oh, I don't care about politics. What?
What?
Many people.
There's a kid kicked down the. It caused a hole in it. Your mom was very cross with me. Well, I'm sure. It depends on what the wall is made of.
Most people
Okay.
do not care that much
Well, I don't know what Emiru's walls are made of, so.
about politics. I know to you and me that's like mind-blowing, that's like unfathomable, because our whole life is politics, our job is politics, like I get it. But most people's lives do not revolve around politics.
Until my life revolves around the things that I do and the things that I like to do.
They do other things other than fight with strangers online. Crazy, I know. But man, do I envy them. I was so much happier before I knew.
What did you know? You gotta tell me so that we can figure it out together.
Sadly, it is getting harder and harder for the average person to not care about politics because politics is seeping into literally everything.
No
politics
shit.
will be bending you over and spreading your cheeks and going in dry whether you want it or not. And
I ain't letting nobody spin my cheeks for nothing.
unfortunately, the people who are like, I just want to be left alone, are the people who are the most fucked by politics. Also, more importantly,
True.
Emiru wasn't saying that she doesn't care about politics. She was saying she didn't want to talk about politics.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a huge difference. I care a lot about, like, skincare, but I don't get on here and talk about, like, peptides and collagen
Yeah.
to my audience because they don't give a shit. They
I'm trying to give an example of something like that for me. It's things that I care about, but it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to really pinpoint something.
here to watch me say feminism is doo-doo and make silly little faces at the camera.
Eh. Yeah, cutesy bootsy.
Yeah, you like that shit?
Yeah. Well, not me. I'm not. Yeah.
I hate when grown women don't have a mind of their own.
Okay, I see where this is going.
You are 28 years old. Please develop a mind of your own. All she does is pander to anime gooner men.
Oh yeah, and this is where it comes in.
No mind of her own. I never liked Emiru, so finding out she's stupid and doesn't have a mind of her own is nice. The
And where exactly are they getting this from?
audacity. If she
Harry Potter and the audacity of these bitches on Twitter.
didn't have a mind of her own, she would have mindlessly parroted the shit you want her to say. She would
Yeah.
have mindlessly just been like, F Ice. If Emiru came out and was like, actually, I think Ice is doing a fine job, do you think they'd be like, ah yes, she has a mind of her own?
No, they wouldn't.
No, absolutely not.
They think that she's, once again, they still think that she's part of the alt-right part. It's hard to pick. Durig. I don't know what that is. Oh, DDR, yes. Yeah, I care about DDR, but I'm not going to spend all my time talking about, oh yeah, you see, I have this sensor that's like all broken and I need to replace it. No, I've got other things that I could talk about.
They are not angry that she doesn't have an opinion. They are angry that she doesn't have their opinion.
Yes, it's all about what they think.
Audacity to say that this woman doesn't have a mind of her own while thousands of you people swarm her like drones, barking orders at her to say the line. You guys literally operate like the fucking Borg. So what I'm gathering is that Emiru is a grown woman who acts like a frail, silly little girl to entertain fat, dirty, incel, Asian fetisher weirdos and is okay with that, but draws the line at saying ISIS.
Shut up, bitch.
Emiru and Asmon's audience are the same. Incels love Emiru because she confirms the image of the anime bimbo stereotype that incels
And this is where it comes from. This is why they think that she's a pipeline to the alt-right.
worship. She definitely cultivated an audience who, in the end of all things, are reactionary.
Says the reactionary bitch asses.
She appeals to violent racists who fetishize Asian women. What the fuck is this Asian fetish thing? Are they just saying this because she's fucking Asian? Like, I'm
Yes, and you people wonder why some people say that liberal white people are the most racist people these days.
trying to find a clip of Emiru saying sucky sucky $5 or something, but it doesn't exist. I don't know what to tell you, man.
My question is, do I appeal to fetishizing Latino raccoon men?
It's not a coincidence that she answered the question this way, and that her fan base consists heavily on Asian fetishes. I don't know where this is coming from, and the woman saying this is literally an OnlyFans, like an
Well, here we go. The shoe was on the other foot.
Asian OnlyFans model. Like, I'm sorry, are you really the person to be talking about fetishization here? The most insane part of all of this.
Oh yeah, like when Bonnie Blue says that her little sleeping with 1,000 men thing is a form of empowerment, even though she's just, just selling her body to all sorts of pervs.
Had to be when her ex-boyfriend, her allegedly abusive ex-boyfriend, posted
Allegedly abusive.
own
Yes.
face in the middle of his ex-girlfriend being canceled for not saying that. Like, how fucking petty do you have to be to subtweet your ex like that? Another character involved in all this is former booby streamer Casey Trump.
Oh yes, yeah, and she got humiliated by Ethan Klein because she was forced to settle in their lawsuit.
It reminds me of whenever Amarath started wearing a
And my avatar is covering her face. She doesn't need the spotlight.
cowboy hat because that's whenever she started going like full Nazi basically.
Shut up, bitch.
She started wearing the cowboy hat. It's like,
yes, cowboy hats are apparently also a no, if you call Cotton Hill a freaking Nazi, no, he'll headbutt you, and he has no shins.
whenever these Texas girls in like these Austin, Texas streamer circles start wearing cowboy hats, that's whenever you gotta watch out.
A woman in Texas wearing a cowboy hat? Lord,
That's so unheard of.
take me out. Take me out back, behind the shed. Put me out of my misery if I ever become this politically brain rotted. Holy shit.
Yes.
Like, you know that
Maybe I should get myself a cowboy hat, seeing as I am technically from Texas.
she probably has like weird incels donating her hundreds of dollars. It's because, like, in my opinion, like, it's all a facade to appeal to the worst type of men. Because, like, really misogynistic, shitty incel like men, they like a woman that doesn't have any
Ohio, New
opinions.
York,
I
San
think
Fran.
that she also plays into how a lot of incels will fetishize Asian women.
No, just hearing these bitches speak. No, it fills me with a sense of frustration that I can't even understand.
Her whole platform is just like,
I want to... I can't say any more than that because I don't want to get in trouble. But, yeah.
appealing to like the worst fucking men. She's like basically like, she's like a pick-me for like incel freak.
Of course, it's... no, what was it? More Pegasus has a little incel counter to see how many times that she says that word.
So this fucking pick-me dude, it's gonna be the death of me. Before making this video, I watched a bunch of Emaru stuff, and I saw no signs of like pick-me behavior at all. At least with some streamers or some YouTubers. People can
Yeah.
like, oh, they criticize women, so
I've never been to
they're
Minnesota.
trying to be like one of the good ones, and they're a pick-me. Like, okay, sure, like, that's retarded. We all know that's retarded. But at least I can like kind of see how is Emaru a pick-me? She doesn't even do that shit. Like, where is
I don't even know exactly how pick-me's work. I don't remember any of that
the
shit.
pick-me thing coming from? No, really though, what makes her a pick-me
She's a pick-me because she's associated with Asmongold. That's literally the only reason.
and not the booby streamer or OnlyFans models calling her a pick-me? You are literally selling your body for men to consume. If men do
Yeah, but it's empowering.
not pick pictures of your ass, you can't pay rent.
If people like Luann didn't sin, then Reverend Stroop would be out of a jab.
There's no bigger pick-me on earth than a fucking porn star. And me. I don't
Yeah, no, everyone calls her a pick-me as well. They think she's all the wrong things.
care about being called a pick-me. I've been doing this for over a decade now. I'm used to it. I've been called it thousands of times. I am a 35-year-old married mother. I do not give a shit. I do care, however, when other women are called pick-me for the crime of not following a hive mind.
Yeah.
I see it so often in like the VTuber community. Like all these VTuber anime women will be called pick-me's for just saying their opinions.
No shit, and I know Smugalena is
You have to
one of those who's like who get. I haven't seen too many Smugalena videos, but I do know she does cover topics like these whenever she does her little video reactions. I don't remember if it's Smuggle. I've heard some people say Smugalana and others say Smugalena, but I don't really care at this point.
To these people, whenever a woman has like an opinion that is not like the corporate HR approved opinion of the week, whenever a woman doesn't toe the line of the current thing, in this case, whenever a woman doesn't say anything, she's called a pick-me. You know, she just must have these opinions for men. No other reason. Every woman is secretly a big progressive feminist. And if they're not, they're just doing it for male attention. Because
Yeah,
I'm sure someone who
pretty
looks like
much.
this is really starving for male attention.
No, she doesn't need that
And then
help.
in my opinion, it's like she's not entertaining whatsoever. She's like, I would
So you mean like yourself?
literally rather watch paint dry.
I think I'd rather just keep my eyes closed and let me imagine something instead.
So true, because you know what is far more entertaining than a cute, high-energy cosplay streamer reacting to memes? This.
I mean, cause incels are very incelious because Celsius
This is way more entertaining. And if
with the Valley Girl accent because I need my pumpkin spice latte. Is it back on the menu yet?
you don't agree, you're just like an incel.
It's so perfect. Yes.
Okay, bitch. Eventually, after a few days of being dogpiled by the most annoying people on Earth, Emaru came out with a statement. Hello, it's very rare I will speak my mind, but I've...
It's very rare I will speak my mind. You have to remember, oh wait, no, I thought that... God damn it, I'm an idiot. I thought that was Casey Tron. Son of a bitch. I guess that makes me sexist for thinking all women are the same.
I'd rather get my thoughts out there, so apologies if this is long. There's a clip from my stream that's been circulating a lot, so I'd like to explain it for anyone who was hurt or shocked by it.
And yeah, and then people responded, "This is why you don't apologize or cave to the mob."
It should go without saying that no one deserves to live their life in fear of being killed or taken away from their homes or families, regardless of who is doing it, but especially not because of ICE or any other government agency. I understand the world is a very cruel and messed up place. You don't have to study politics or actively read the news to know that. I would never want to invalidate anyone who struggles with those things, and an agency causing fear and suffering deserves zero support. To me, that's not even political, it's basic human empathy.
Now, I thought that statement was perfectly fine. My
Right.
issue with it is she didn't have to make it.
No, that's the thing. People pointed out that she shouldn't have apologized because it's just gonna make them double down.
She was basically forced to come out and say her opinion. So did these freaks finally back off
No, they doubled down.
once Emeru made her opinion about ICE clearer? No, of course not.
Nazi
And they, yep, exactly.
response. TLDR, go f yourself with your PR apology. And there it is. Of fucking course she's another dumb girl.
And yeah, some of these are the same people that'll also like me. No, here's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to like, you see, guys, I just wasn't in my right state of mind. My mind was in a very dark place, and you know, I'm just so sorry that we had to do that. And I promise I'll never do it again. So anyway, new video next week. I hope to see you guys there. Take care.
Well, we are not as dumb as you look. You're
Yes,
still
you
a
are.
racist chud, but continue to enjoy the money you get from your incel audience because they're disgusting, just like you. All I hear is I support Israel and my name is Emeru.
It always goes back to that place. I swear, it's another one of those buzzwords. No. Hassan Piker shocking his dog, that was Israel. I stubbed my toe last week. Well, I didn't stub it last week, but, you know, clearly it was clearly my big toe and the table that stubbed it were agents of Israel.
Wait, what? Where the f did Israel come from? What? I don't like to talk about politics equals I'm a Nazi and I'm ashamed of my opinion. Everyone knows.
Oh my, what are the odds half of these people play Japanese rhythm games?
What's up? She's a fascist in disguise and is squirming. Emeru, you are garbage Nazi-loving. You got orange around your mouth. Say F you, Asmongold. If you're neutral, oh wait, if you're neutral, you might as well say you're MAGA. Stand for something, ho. That's what Trump wants, for everyone to be quiet about it. The idea of get off the internet is so f***ing ignorant. This dumb cunt needs to shut her
And who's this ugly-ass bastard in the
f***ing
corner?
mouth. Thank God her downfall is happening. I've been hating on her since day one and knew something was off about her. Not a good statement. She implicitly disavowed ICE, but not so much the actual Trump admin.
Yeah, you disavowed ICE, but what about the whole Trump administration? They're
Yes.
like literally the mouse from If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
Yeah, pretty much. If you give the woke mob a leg to stand on.
I was like reading that book to my toddler the other day and I was like, oh my god, this is literally Twitter. You cannot give them an inch, dude. Of course are incel fans swooping in to protect the poor little 28-year-old.
Oh, so you mean me?
Yes, incels. Known for defending women online.
Pretty much.
What? What the f does the word incel even mean anymore? Does it just mean man?
It just means any man that isn't radical left-wing.
And now?
It doesn't matter how many times you actually get laid, you're still incapable of having sex
It just means
in
man.
their
Man I
eyes.
do not like.
I had no
Yeah.
idea this was a thing until yesterday. How come no one told me Emeru low-key a femcel?
Femcel! Emeru's a femcel! Oh my f-
It doesn't
Do
end.
people just not know what words mean anymore?
No, they don't. They're too politically brain-rotted on Twitter because, you know, Twitter's not a real place. Everybody should know that at this point.
Or are they coming to these conclusions?
I mean, have you looked at her? I mean, look at her. Look at her. Just
Okay, so now they're being racist.
look at her. Look at her.
Yeah, sorry, I don't see it. I think you guys just might be mentally ill.
We need to
Yes.
do something about these male-centered women.
Okay, first of all, nothing is more male-centered than centering your life around hating men. Men just
Yeah.
live rent-free in your fucking head. Take it up with God. Go to therapy. Do
But yeah, but God is...
literally anything else than make it our problem.
F her, and especially f her bestie Asmongold. I hope they get kirked.
Bitch, shut your dumb ass up.
30-year-old woman too scared to say f ICE to keep her incel audience happy. Let's hope she gets abused again.
Okay, so they want Miss Kiff to get back together,
Couldn't
huh?
happen to a better person. Next time this is assaulted, I'm gonna laugh and laugh. F her and f ICE and f you if you support this. Emeru deserved what Miss Kiff did to her. F Emeru for supporting ICE. I genuinely hope this bitch gets. Oh, okay. I reported that one.
Okay, yeah, you probably
Holy
should.
What is wrong with?
Oh, no. And here's what's gonna happen. After that guy gets reported, No, they're gonna get their Twitter account either suspended or removed, and then they're gonna create a new Twitter account saying that they're being censored by the Thump administration and that it's all fascism.
These people. See, you don't understand. I'm good guy, which makes it okay for me to say f***ed up things about bad guy. You think saying that to someone is f***ed up? Well, you should be
No, the embodiment of the enemy of my enemy is still my enemy.
too, because you're probably also bad guy. It's called being on the right side of history, Chuck.
Yes.
Look it up.
Nazis deserve death, and silence is compliance.
May I just remind the audience that this is what she said.
If you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
Ladies and
But don't you know, this is exactly what the mustachioed painter wrote in his book.
gentlemen, a Nazi that deserves death. What?
After making her terrible statement full of lies, Amaru decided to follow right-wing...
Oh, and here it goes. Yes, the not left-wing gifter head-on shoe.
Grifter's shoe on head. Of course Amaru is now following a fellow pathetic pygmy for being quiet about ICE. They both don't want to piss off their 100% right-wing gooner fan base.
100%. You know, I'm pretty sure in my case that would be considered slander because I'm not right-wing, I'm not a gooner, and I don't know if I'd consider it, I don't know if I'd consider myself to be part of the fan base, but I know for a fact that I'm not either of those. So clearly this 100% is a flat-out lie, and I will not be taking you to court because I don't want to have to deal with that.
For the record, my fan base is probably like 70% right-wing and
Yes.
30% gooner. Okay, but for some reason, they didn't mind when I came out and harshly criticized ICE in my last video. Yes, I
Yeah.
disagreed, but for the most part, they didn't care. As long as you aren't preaching from an ivory tower with no nuance, rhyme, or reason, people don't care. I'll say some shit like, we should decommodify housing, and the right-wingers in my audience are just like, okay, call me mommy. These people
Yes, no, we'll do whatever you say.
People cannot fathom a universe where people just disagree. Oh, you're just scared. You don't want to upset your chud audience. I upset my chud audience every goddamn day. You're
Yeah.
the ones terrified of your own fucking cult. God forbid you only agree with 99% of the hive mind approved opinions.
If you disagree even 1%, they will disavow you to the depths of oblivion. I mean, that's what happened with Ethan Klein. The reason that they all disavowed him is because he believed that Israel had a right to exist, even though he's not a big fan of them.
God have mercy on your soul. I do not envy you. Once you bend the knee to these people, once you apologize or capitulate, it's over.
No, when I got canceled, I didn't apologize for shit. I have nothing to be sorry about.
People don't actually want an apology. They want to humiliate you. They want to drag you down. At the end of the day, they have found a socially acceptable way to bully people. That's what this is. A lot of people in response to Emaru's statement were like, why did you apologize to the mob?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier.
No, you bent the knee, you're a coward. And honestly, people don't realize how insane it can get. These people, the cult of the cry bully, they come in swarms, they get in your head, they prey on your empathy, they isolate you from your friends, they make you feel like a terrible person for having milquetoast normal ass opinions, or in this case, no opinion. And when you are someone who is not used to dealing with these types of people, or you are someone in like a vulnerable state of mind, it is very easy for these cult-like tactics to work.
Thankfully, I haven't necessarily had to deal with that, except maybe one time, but that's debatable.
Works especially well with
At least not here on stream. I haven't seen any hate mobs from that side ever come over, which the door is always open.
women in particular, not to be sexist, but it's just true. Honestly, you know, now that I think about it, the only people who are immune to this are like autistic people. I swear to God, people.
Perhaps. I mean, I have undiagnosed Asperger's syndrome.
People on the spectrum are immune to the cry bully tactics. What happened?
No shit. Actually, that's actually kind of true. No, knowing that I have undiagnosed Asperger's syndrome, it's actually kind of true.
Is Emaru just saw like a shit ton of people who were mad at her, and she wanted to do the correct thing. Unfortunately, this is just gonna make it worse. And they're moving on to one of their favorite tactics.
The big question in everyone's mind is, well, are you still friends with Asmongold?
While it is appreciated that you are taking a stand and clarifying the clip,
No, it's because it's always death by association.
you do continue to be vague about how deep.
No, it's like when, like when if someone were to, like if a rapper, no, in the Boondocks episode where it was found out that Gangstalicious was gay, after Thugnificent and his crew were going to make a remix with him, they're all like, no, we can't fuck with the remix now, because if everyone think he a homo, then we gonna be homos by association, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Your associations with Asmon are. So hopefully you've cut ties with that hate-mongering Nazi troll Asmon, right? Glad you made this and owned up to it, but you're still friends with Asmongold, so it doesn't read as earnest. Almost a decent explanation. But the elephant in the room is that your friendship with Asmongold is holding this back from seeming sincere. Okay, now what about your best friend Asmongold? Denounce Asmon or I'm not taking this seriously. You're friends with Assmold.
Asmongold.
I'm pretty sure she's still friends.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she's still friends with Asmongold.
With Asmongold.
Now, whatever you think of Asmongold, he is friends with Emeru. They are friends, even though they disagree with each other. Crazy, right?
I literally said, like, I don't agree with the things he says. Like, what do y'all want me to do?
They want you to... Well, I'm pretty sure you know exactly what they want you to do. I'm not gonna... It's been repeated, like, multiple times already.
Like, fucking shoot him on stream?
Yeah.
Yes, they want you to... They unironically want you to do that. They want you to do it Charlie Kirk style.
Yes, that is what they want you to do. Yes. Around 2018, I was facing nearly daily harassment for being friends with someone who was on the right. Hundreds of people were on my ass like every day. They were calling my job. They got emails of my family members. It was like nonstop. Now, this person was a good friend of mine, but in order to get all these people off my back, I did probably the cringiest thing ever, and I publicly disavowed her.
Oh my god, no. If that were to if I ever was in a situation like that, I just... Well, I don't know what I would do, but I'm not going to disavow someone just like that. I mean, there are certain friends that I had that were part of the DDR community, but I have yet to really address them.
Publicly disavowed a friend of mine over political differences. Now, for those of you who are new here, that sounds like something I would never do, but I did it. I bent the knee to a faceless mob of people who hate me. And in return, I received nothing. The harassment didn't stop, the hate didn't stop. Well, needless to say, karma is real, and the same thing happened to me years later. I was publicly disavowed by friends over political differences.
Well, time to get the ukulele out.
This story ultimately does have a good ending. Me and my friend from 2018, we made up years ago, but looking back...
Well, that's nice. At least you made up. I wonder if that'll ever happen to me.
On all this in 2026 is extremely embarrassing, and if I knew what I knew now, I would have just told those people to go fuck themselves. But in the moment, it's incredibly stressful, and you just kind of want it all to stop, and you will do whatever you can to make it stop. So I understand why Emeru came out and made a statement. I just really hope she doesn't wind up disavowing friends over political differences like I did. It was a huge mistake, and it is not worth it.
It's possible that it could happen.
Because you are going to find yourself surrounded by people who see...
Given that she is friends with Asmongold, they probably having, like, private conversations with each other and, like, probably giving each other advice. And, like, maybe Asmon's telling her, yeah, don't do any of this stuff. It's best that you simply just try to let it die out.
You as a temporary ally and not a real friend. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a never apologize person. You should apologize if you actually do something wrong. Right. If you actually wronged someone. But yeah,
if you truly feel like you did something, like, truly egregious, then yes, go for it. But just try to be sincere. Don't do the ukulele type apology. Just let it happen.
You shouldn't apologize to like a nebulous, faceless mob of people while facing down a barrel of a gun.
There is nothing that she could say, and
there's nothing that she could say, and no amount of money she could donate that could convince me she's not a soulless ghoul like all the men.
She misspelled incel there.
She's happily surrounded herself with for years.
No amount of money she
That's how you would say it.
Convince me she's not a soulless ghoul like all the men she's happily surrounded herself with for years.
There is nothing you can ever do to please these people, so why bother? They will not be happy until you kill yourself, and even then they will dance on your grave.
Right.
And I know, like, with everything going on right now, like, is this really a video about cancel culture in 2026? And it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yes, it is.
First of all, you should expect that. You clicked on a shoe on a head video.
Yes.
But second of all, yeah, I feel like this is kind of important to talk about. I feel like this type of thing is part of the reason we are where we are right now. This type of stuff drives people away from the left, and more importantly than that, it's just evil. I saw some leftists covering Emeru being canceled, and they were like, the cultural shift is here.
The cultural shift is here!
Woke 2.0, we don't play around.
No,
we're mean
they can
now.
be quiet.
Woke 2.0?
Making a friendship over political shit is only worth it if they... Yeah, only in the event that they actually are like that. Then, yeah, that's something to keep in mind.
Because Woke 1.0 worked out so well for you guys in the country, right? You're supposed to learn from your mistakes, not double down and get worse. Yeah. I don't know how you can look at the last 10 years and be like, we have got to get more annoying. Like, what are you doing? Attacking normie streamers?
I don't exactly... I mean, I know that things can always get worse. Just when you think you're at the bottom of the barrel, you still need to get... There's still what's underneath the barrel that needs to be scraped out.
For not wanting to be involved in political discourse. Also, I feel like this goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm not smearing, like, the left as a whole. Okay?
Right.
This isn't fucking Fox News.
No, whenever people say the left, people mean the radical left.
This isn't the Nuxanor channel. I'm well aware there are plenty of left-wing people, especially in my audience, who feel the same way I do. I'm talking about a certain faction of the mostly online left. I was about to say it's like a loud minority, but I don't even think it's a minority anymore. I think it's like a majority. Like I feel like I'm one of the only ones like holding down the fort. Like me and Anna Kasparian. And every day I'm called a right-wing grifter for being like, hey, maybe we can focus on the issues that like actually affect.
Yeah, let's actually focus on something that actually
the
matters.
working class, you know, things that actually help people, not stupid fucking shit like going after e-girl cosplay streamers. Like, can we just get back to the fact that we are all being ruled by satanic billionaire pedophiles who may or may not be eating children, please?
Oh lord, is that in the files too?
Thank you. In conclusion, Emeru did nothing wrong. People are tired of having politics shoved down their throat.
Well, personally, I've done everything wrong.
And you don't need to speak about things you don't want to speak about. You don't have to do that. You don't have to say the line, actually. This is mass psychosis, rivaling on 2020. These people—
Mass psychosis, where you don't even realize that you're doing it until it's already been done.
are trying to socially ostracize this woman for not putting like a black square on her Instagram. They're just mad at Emeru for not doing like the ice bucket challenge.
Oh, that's actually a really good comparison. Ice bucket. No, that's actually clever.
That's basically what is happening.
I don't know if that was intentional or... yeah.
If you are going to streamers for political information, you are cooked. If you are going—
Yeah, don't go to me for political information. Go to me for random nonsense that makes no sense and is very cringe.
issue on head for political information, you are deep fried.
We come here for entertainment. I came to see the game.
But that was that little video. If you like my yapping, please subscribe. And if you can, donate to my Patreon down below. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it so
you
much.
guys go
and I will
check
see you
her
guys
out.
very soon with a new video. Bye.
Shit, she's working on a video about the files, and we're gonna be all here for it. So yeah, that's the Emeru situation, or at least the second one that leads to a wider discussion about what it means to. I don't even know what it is supposed to mean, but y'all, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's gonna be it for that video. So I'm actually kind of glad you're here, Roji. We can look at. There's like. Okay, moving on now. There's like 2 new religion for breakfast videos that we could take. Oh wait, there was something that Jackal mentioned earlier. It's scavenging for survival on Asia's trash mountain. Yeah. Here, let me see if I can look that up. If I can, I have to scroll all the way back. Why is it scrolling? Oh, it's okay. Can I please? Yeah. No. This must be it. I'm guessing it's this Andrew Fraser video. It's a bit depressing though. I'm sure it is, but yeah, I think I've. Who knows? I'm trying to think. Do we want to take a look at this? If it is depressing, I don't know where this is though. Explore Indonesia's Bantar Gebang landfill, Asia's largest trash mountain. Oh, excuse me. No. If we want to look at that. I mean, there's also these religion for breakfast videos that we let. Here, let's look at one of them at least, and then we can go back to this. And then we can probably look at the other one on why fantasy magic feels so fake. There's this one that he uploaded about whether or not Jesus had long hair, because I'm sure some of you might know about that one reconstructed image, but it's against comrades, only because they're doing, yeah, it's a purity test. Yeah, that's the thing. They accuse others of being fastists, even though what they're doing is technically fascism, trying to control the narrative and making it seem like anyone who disagrees may as well just be Charlie Kirked. Let's leave it at that. But which one do we want to look at first? Do we want to look at this first, or do we want to look at the religion for breakfast videos? Yeah, and that's your final comment about that? All right, that's fine. Yeah. I'll let you guys decide which one we look at. I mean, yeah. We can either look at the Trash Mountain video, or we can look at these Religion for Breakfast videos. I'll let you guys decide real quick. But aside from that, and then I also have this language simp video about Turkish for if we have time, because he's hilarious. Damn. I think I remember watching his Spanish video, but it's been a while since I've seen it. No, well, not the Spanish video that we looked at the other week. I'm sure Rody remembers which one I'm talking about. But yeah, let's see. Okay. You know what? Here, let me at least get this loaded. Shall we? I mean, I could also clip. Yeah, ever heard the saying, if a Nazi is sitting at a table with 9 people, you don't have one Nazi, you have 10 or some shit like that. Okay, here, you know what? We can just go ahead and check this video out anyway, and then we could check out the Religion for Breakfast videos after that. This would honestly be a good video to clip for the Tuesday upload, perhaps. Depends on whether or not I have the patience to work on 2 videos, or if I would just want to chill at home. But we're going to look at this video by Andrew Fraser about scavenging for survival on Asia's largest trash mountain. I don't know anything about this other than that it's in Indonesia, at least according to the description. So, and Jackal in the chat says it's very depressing, but we'll see what happens anyway. So be sure to check out the original, and then let's go ahead and get started and see just how depressing this truly is. And the music certainly makes it even more impactful. Well, it also depends on how well I can comment on it too.
Bantar Gebang is like diving headfirst into a dystopian fever dream. Picture just this mammoth mountain of trash looming over an army of workers.
Oh my lord.
Scouring and surviving on the cast-offs of a civilization.
And the question is, how much? What exactly are these people doing here? Are they like collecting? Are they collecting like recyclables or something? Or are we just gonna have to just watch the rest of the video? Because usually, I know that plastic will last for centuries, if not millennia, but then there are other types of materials that'll break down rather easily. Usually something that's organic.
Absolutely. Utterly apocalyptic.
Yeah.
The scale is colossal. You can practically taste the grit in the air.
I can only imagine what it smells like. Granted, as a trash panda, that doesn't... you would think that I would enjoy a place like this, but I'm fine with my current station in life.
Yeah. Does he like it here?
Well, he can say much about it, but this is the way he lives now, he says.
It's an entire ecosystem. It has communities and industries that are built around these...
Okay, so they do have the fire there.
...endless hills of refuse. It is just raw, unfiltered humanity feeding off this strange lifeblood of people's garbage. But here it is very, very much a reality. And believe it or not, these scavenged plastics are directly responsible for building Jakarta's booming skyline.
Well, I bet they are, given...
And in the most dystopian...
I'm guessing he means that in the sense that...
way possible.
Well...
Entire towns here now seem like they're stuck, you know...
Oh, yes. I've seen... There are plenty of these, like, all over the world that... It's either because they choose not to really advance themselves, or they just get dealt a bad hand by their governments and stuff. Like, I know that there are parts of China that are like this. Like, I remember watching a documentary where within that documentary, there was a river in China that was so polluted that the very chemical composition of the water was altered. And so it's not really water anymore. I need to wash all that in water. Well, we learned in the casual geographic that it's not really washing the food, it's rather stimulating of hands.
With giant plumes of black.
But yes, I gotta take this town and dip it in some clean water. But that might end up killing all the fishes.
And everything covered in soot.
Soot, oh my god. Imagine, no, if you have asthma, you'd probably be better off not going anywhere near this place.
It's getting kind of crazy right now. It's turning Jakarta's food supply.
Oh, it's even messing... Well, I'd imagine that it'd be doing that, because I know that's what happens in other parts of the world as well.
Toxic. Sometimes in pretty unexpected and unintentional ways, but sometimes in ways that feel totally avoidable. And so to end this episode...
And so what exactly are they doing
for
here?
A meal of what I'm calling trash tofu. And
trash tofu. So they're
honestly,
making food with all of this?
Kind of says it all. It might just be the most toxic meal in...
Oh my god, no. I'm not touching that. There's no way that people will just unironically eat something like this. Not unless they were really that desperate.
This bloke's been kind enough to give me a hitch up the mountain. It's a hell of a ride otherwise. And again, it's just sort of like, I don't know, symbolic as to how big this mountain is.
Apologies for that. A cup fell. Give me one moment while I pick it up. If I clip this, this will be cut from the video.
Above me, I can see a similar kind of operation. The cranes. And then behind me, the sort of shanty villages.
Yeah.
Where people live who kind of survive on these mountains.
No, I've seen these types of buildings in many parts of the world, especially in Africa, among other places. I'm sure they exist, and yeah, I'm sure they exist all over.
Trying to sneak past. Thanks for the ride. These guys are a bunch of pickers taking a break. Yes? Can I get a photo?
The food isn't made for... I'm sure it isn't, but it's made... I don't know.
Every day, nearly 600 garbage trucks dump nearly 8,000 tons of waste here.
So is it... So are there like... I'm assuming that there are other landfills in other parts of the country. I mean, Indonesia is a very big place. It's a lot bigger than you'd think. Like, the entirety from east to west spans, like, the length of the U.S. from coast to coast, so...
And when
it's a big place.
So up, it's a full-on traffic jam of trash haulers. They're all lined up, barely moving.
So they all just come to this place.
So as we get to the top of this kind of trash mountain, working our way up, we're following this giant line of trucks.
Where is Jakarta in relation to this place? I don't think I was paying attention to the map.
Them. And just like that, it's like we're in a whole different world.
No, I can only imagine what it smells like. I've never been to or ever really seen a landfill, so I wouldn't know either way.
Cliffs of trash rise on either side of the road. Machines rumble and beep non-stop.
Damn.
And every surface, every color is wrapped in this layer of black sludge.
This is where most... And all the flies. The only thing that can really survive off of this are the flies.
So the pickers are operating. Again, it seems so far.
Oh, you bumped your head. Sorry about that. Rub it a little.
They're after anything they can make money from. And man, this is one of the most post-apocalyptic scenes I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
The pickers are everywhere. Thousands of them swarming the drop site.
I wonder how much money they make off of this.
They move fast, armed with these sharpened metal hooks and massive woven baskets on their backs. And they pull out anything of value quickly before the next load buries them.
Value, huh? I can imagine there might be. I mean, I know there's the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, but to say that they might be picking things of value, that's certainly an interesting twist on that phrase.
And then it happens. I step into what looks like...
Oh god, this...
a puddle.
Looks like a puddle, but it's probably not even water.
And suddenly, I'm knee-deep in sludge.
Oh, Lord have mercy. You even got on your arms.
It ain't pretty, guys. I'm telling you. I smell like absolute shit right now.
Yeah,
I'd imagine. Like, I mean, you can see. That's waist deep.
It's so it's one. I know there are some. I know some cartoons that'll make like little jokes about, oh, it looks like a tiny little puddle, but then the character goes in and then their whole body is submerged.
It is. It's kind of dangerous out here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So you can see like they put in like planks, and if you don't know where to step, you can go straight in, waist deep, just like I did.
Oh, and how clean is that water?
Okay. He said that I needed to wash myself down or else I'm going to start getting itchy. There's just so much toxic crap in this liquid. I mean, I don't doubt it. Thank you.
I don't doubt it either.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's even in the boot.
Bro, that ain't pretty.
No, I need to know what that sludge is actually made from.
Constructing a mountain of garbage takes more than just dumping trash and walking away.
Yeah.
Roads must be etched into these slopes. guiding the trucks higher and higher. And at the dumping ground, the cycle begins. Trucks unload, and pickers flood it, scavenging through fresh waste.
Each of these sites has hundreds and hundreds of these
and then they just keep coming and they don't stop coming.
Scavengers just working away.
Ew, yucky. Oh, and there's a mannequin.
I know, I keep coming back to that word, post-apocalyptic, but honestly, this is surreal.
Yeah.
Above it all, the excavators move with this mechanical rhythm.
Layering by escalators.
Shaping the shifting terrain into something resembling order. They must work in unison, passing the freshly dumped garbage up to the nearest peak of the mountain.
So they just have to keep dragging it all the way up until...
When you guys are wearing...
I guess they have to keep it away from that road then.
Those parlay shirts by Adidas, you've ever got those like recycled PET products, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of that comes out of this exact landfill.
They act together as a conveyor belt of sorts. And it's a mess.
Oh, I see how it works.
Yes, but a structured one. This oddly hypnotic dance of
God
industry
damn.
and survival.
Well, at least there's plants in there. The plants will deteriorate on their own. But the plastic, good luck with that.
But there's one final step. The work isn't done until the peak is flattened completely down.
Okay.
To make way for the next tier. And if
Okay, so we have to flatten it just so we can make it higher, and then we have to do it again.
I want to understand this place.
Oh, the monotony, that must be...
There's only one thing to do. My goal is to climb to the summit.
All
First
right.
though, it's
And I'm guessing that summit is getting higher and higher.
time for a snack.
A snack, and...
Scattered throughout the mountains are these makeshift cafes. These little shanty spots.
And all of these are, they're all exposed to the elements of trash.
Putting up food and drink.
Yeah, plastic is also, it's very bad for the oceans. There's the ocean gyres that have trash just flowing through them.
Thanks for the thousands of workers that live here. And
it's not a great
this
look
is
for us.
ostensibly a food choker. It's time to grab a quick bite before the climb.
Yeah, and how much dirt and grime is on all of these foods?
Guys, I'm always traveling.
I mean, I remember watching a documentary of a guy that was taking a road trip across Iran, and every time he tried to eat some Iranian street food, he'd get, complications. I can only imagine the kind of complications that you would get from eating at a place like this.
Really?
All right, good night, Jack.
These sketchy places nowadays, and dealing with money,
I'll finish this for you.
it is a real problem. ATM fees, bad exchange rates, those like super dodgy tourist ATMs,
Right.
readers, you name it. And that is why I have come to
Oh, it's an ad.
absolutely love Revolut. Revolut's this all-in-one financial super app, and it makes international spending easy. Currency exchange, eSIMs. They've interested. Check out Revolut
All right,
using the
you
link
guys can check that on
below or
your
scan
own.
the QR code on screen. Sign up, make your first purchase, and boom, $40 in your pocket.
Okay.
Okay, so apparently the food you can just kind of grab.
Okay, so it's one of those things.
And she's gonna make out of, I don't know.
Is that some sort of
Some kind
Kool-Aid?
of weird powdered cordial, a bit of ice to go to up here. It's
Okay.
holding these guys through the day, so maybe it'll get me through it as well.
Is it
Seems to be
good?
the go-to up in this mountain.
What is he eating? It looks pretty good. Is it some sort of... Looks like... at first I thought it might have been some sort of chicken, but it might actually be some bread.
It's, I've got to admit, pretty good.
And of course there's flies going
Saying
on
it's
it.
sort of like flour, egg,
Okay, so it's some sort of bread.
onion. It's bad food. It's full of calories. I've got to be honest. It's
Well, you're gonna need the calories if you're gonna work in a place like this. You're definitely gonna need the energy.
what I need right now. It doesn't smell too good, but nothing
Yeah.
comes up here. And I mean, my hands were absolutely covered in trash just a couple of minutes ago. I kind of want to see what it's like for these guys up here.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle, how they're getting by. And this is lunch for everybody up here, it seems.
Oh.
Well, that is sweet.
Well, yeah, of course. The sugar, it's more energy, more calories. More time for work.
Like sugar overload, obviously. I bet it's packed with caffeine. And
Oh, God, no. I can't handle that.
I mean, it's long hours up here. These guys start from like 6, 7 a.m. as soon as the trucks start pulling in. And I think you just need to survive on oily calories.
And how long are the hours here if it's like 6 or 7 in the morning?
And caffeine.
Yeah, I can't drink something like that.
That is really sweet.
The other guy is just like laughing because he probably knows.
Incredible place, I tell you.
Yeah.
I wanna-
Incredible is one way to put it. More energy for swimming.
This mountain.
Are you gonna be swimming in the trash mountain?
Let's go.
Honestly, getting to the top doesn't take as long as you'd think.
Yeah, it doesn't look that difficult.
Up here,
but there's always a chance that you could slip and fall, or maybe you could maybe there's some sort of sinkhole within it.
See the final step in action: the flattening and compaction of the trash.
So this is the very top of this particular peak. You can see
this particular peak. I wonder what kind of trash lies underneath all of this, and who knows how long it's been there. It was also the pit. Probably not. Place of mention, pick for the Elysium, because it looked just. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. I don't watch a lot of movies, so.
the bulldozer's finally moving the trash up here. We have a ring of the pickers, just quickly getting through the freshest stuff.
But I'd imagine this would be a very good place to set a dystopian type movie.
And often, it's right at the top here.
This is no. You know what this reminds me of? WALL-E. That's the perfect movie that describes this. No, this is literally what Earth looked like in WALL-E.
At these peaks, and they can be the most dangerous because they are obviously at the most risk of collapse.
No lakes or rivers. Yeah, I think I've mentioned that my mom will never swim out in the ocean.
At each peak where the chain of excavators ends, a bulldozer takes over. It waits as massive piles of waste dump in front of it, and then rolls it over, pressing everything down in place.
Yeah. I can only imagine how old even just a third of this stuff is, especially at the very bottom and the very middle.
See, when these things roll past, they do not give you any warning. It's just kind of, it starts moving.
You just kind of have to know.
And you get out of the way, or you're kind of toast. That dude wasn't lying before. My feet are itchy as hell.
And just like with the excavators, the pickers are never far behind, trailing every move, looking for one last chance to grab something valuable.
Yeah, what exactly of valuable are they even trying to grab?
No one seems to react to me, you know? Just some white guy rocks up with a camera on top of this giant mountain full of trash, and everyone's just kind of cool with it. It's just another Tuesday for them.
Is there just some sort of black market that they sell certain things to? Are there like perfectly good items that are within these heaps that are all like, huh, we can't let these go to waste. I know, I'll give them the Pearl for Christmas, just like the batteries in Mr. Krabs' robot radio, whatever the hell. You know which one I'm talking about. And the flies and the maggots. Oh yeah, collecting cans and shit.
Just one of the trash picker.
How long has he done this for?
Since 2019 he said.
2019?
2000.
How old are you?
Berapa umur Mas kalau boleh tahu? 23.
23?
Mm.
What's life like here?
The life here is pretty much easy for him. No school needed, no certificates needed.
Easy.
No need to have a good suits to work, so he just work and get money.
So you like?
Okay, so sounds like your average job, I guess. I can't remember. Would this be considered blue collar? I can never figure out what blue and white collar mean.
Yeah, he said okay.
It's okay, just working in trash all the time.
In this land,
like a sort of like a garbage man, because I know that the South Park. Which one was it? The South Park Panderverse special, the handyman with the Waffle House shirt, making more and more money because no one knows how to do shit anymore because of AI, even though AI can't really do something like this.
Scavengers routinely face extreme physical danger. Around 600 garbage trucks deliver nearly 8,000 tons of waste daily, meaning bulldozers and excavators are constantly moving mountains of trash, causing frequent accidents. Scavengers risk being crushed by heavy machinery or buried alive under collapsing heaps of garbage.
Is that a shoe?
Does he like it here?
Well, he can say much about it, but this is the way he lives now, he said.
How much money does he make a day?
No. So he said that per day he don't know, but per month maybe he can get like $1 million.
1 million rupees.
Oh, $60 a month? Really?
Avoiding
So they have a lot of inflation in Indonesia.
Machinery isn't enough. The scavengers must navigate waste loads with broken glass, rusty nails, metal shards, and used syringes. They cause frequent injuries. These wounds quickly escalate into tetanus,
yeah, you gotta want blue services. Yeah.
cellulitis, life-threatening sepsis.
What's the worst bit of the job?
Right, because would handymen be considered blue collar?
He said that he oftenly gets sick and he worried about his future actually.
He gets sick and, well, you can tell by his teeth.
The landfill here is
No
filled with
offense.
heavy metals like lead, mercury,
Oh my god, these.
cadmium from all that electronic waste,
Cadmium.
from batteries.
Yeah, I don't know about cadmium, but obviously mercury and lead are very poisonous and toxic.
Plastics, and it just permeates into these pools of toxic sludge or leachate, and it pools up all over the mountain. It forms these rivers that run along the roads, one of which I was unlucky enough to fall right into. And let me tell you, you are instantly itchy all day. It's this constant, subtle burn of sorts. Scavengers suffer skin conditions because of it. They get scabies, chronic dermatitis, rashes, fungal infections. And then there's the
and then they just keep going.
Toxic smoke from spontaneous methane burning, which we're going to get to.
Spontaneous methane burning.
And
so
airborne contaminants such as mold spores and bacteria fill the air. Over 65.
Exhaled carbon monoxide levels of scavengers in Bantargabong.
Percent of landfill workers experience persistent coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath. It's a tough place to exist.
So what exactly are they even doing here in the first place?
We press.
I mean, I know that $60, I know that can go a long way in some cases, but damn.
Even deeper, past the constant churn of drop-off sites, through the maze of shanty towns that cling to the edge of this towering landfill. And the deeper we go, the thinner the sense of order becomes.
So this is where they live? Good
Alright, guys,
lord.
So in the sort of the outskirts, the alleyways of the trash mountain is where everybody here lives. A lot of these pickers, they're from these sort of
Popeyes, oh lord of mercy.
provinces, but they have these kind of
I wonder how many of these are Jollibee.
shanty networks.
I know Jollibee is Filipino, correct?
Houses where they're going to live, they're going to reside.
Where the last site had some kind of structure, some rule, some level of road safety, and even security. This place feels different, raw, unchecked, the wild west of waste.
So our guide on this side of the mountain, I gotta be honest, I don't think he's really decked out for in trash gear.
Oh no, he doesn't have, this guy, sorry, this guy definitely does not have the pants for this type of thing.
This is where the risk is just impossible to ignore. The pickers work in a constant state of urgency.
So I'm assuming that they're trying to pick out recyclables.
Heads down, scanning the waste.
Because I saw all those Popeyes little containers, and those are obviously cardboard.
Anything of value. But the highest reward comes with the highest risk. Staying dangerously close to the excavators and the bulldozers.
Yeah.
From inside the cab of the excavator, visibility is almost non-existent. It moves fast, swinging from side to side in this relentless rhythm, and with little time to react to any humans sitting in the many blind spots.
Yeah.
Things are way more lax on this side of the mountain. I mean, they're basically hoisting up on this thing. This is probably not the safest thing. It's the first time I've ever been on an excavator.
Oh,
What a
so
ride. I mean,
would that go? Oh no, that's not a cherry picker. A cherry picker is something else. Would this be considered a backhoe?
right on the edge of this cliff, you can feel the mountain below you kind of shift as he gets the bucket load. Like right now, I can feel a whole excavator reaching over as he's grabbing that bucket.
Yeah, if you're not careful, you could accidentally dig something that can cause the excavator itself to fall over.
Then he's going to swing it back around. Within seconds, you have no visibility around what is there. You couldn't.
You just pick it up and go.
Take the head off one of these pickers.
Not even giving it a second thought,
I don't know
huh?
how they see anything. Okay. Thanks, bro.
All right.
Killing me.
Thank you for. Is that what he said? Thank you for not killing me.
Whenever I come to these places, man, it's sort of like a reminder, an eye-opener of what really matters.
Right. Yeah. Always be appreciative of the things that you have.
Because just fucking ain't money that makes you happy. I tell you that. How long have you lived here, man?
Udah lama tinggal di sini berapa lama, Bu? A year.
1 year. And why did you move here?
Because he wants to get her school, her kids' school, but he got no money. She got no money.
So here there's more money. There's enough money to send your kids to school?
So they're just here for the money.
So how much money are you able to make here?
Weekly, roughly, he can get like 500,000 rupees.
500,000 is about 30. Damn, that's like. I know that Iranian inflation is pretty big. You can get a lot of stuff in Iran for like of couple of bucks.
What about the food? I see in this area there's a lot of food at the Big Cook that up. What exactly happens?
So she said she will pick the one that's still consumable, and she will prepare the food for herself.
What's the hardest thing about living here for her?
She said that the hardest thing living here is actually the environment itself, right?
Yeah, I can imagine that simply being there is hard enough. But, you know, that other guy that he was interviewing mentioned that the work itself was relatively easy. It's just being there.
She doesn't want to live here actually if she can, but she had no other way to, you know, get some money to get her kids to go to school.
What does she hope for her kids and her life here?
This is like when some parents have to work 2 jobs just so that they can take care of themselves and whatever kids that they have.
Really hope that her kids can
just thinking
be
about
a
their
better
kids,
person
right?
in life, so her kids doesn't have to live here like her.
Yeah.
Tough, huh? Bye. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make sure that you want to make sure that your kids have a life that you might not necessarily have, but you know you care about your kids that much. I know my mom has a very similar sentiment. She'll do anything for me and my siblings.
One of the more dramatic dangers of Bentayga Bank are the methane explosions. They are deadly, and they are very...
So they're just explosions that just happen.
Real. Huge pockets of methane gas form underground here as mountains of organic waste rot beneath the surface. They get trapped by those enormous layers
of I see.
Plastic, and then during dry season, these methane pockets...
The 25-hectare landfill is a waste hub for its surrounding cities and areas including Badung.
They ignite.
Or Bandung.
Massive
oh my god.
Explosions.
Well, yeah, I bet. Methane is highly flammable, seeing as it is it's a hydrocarbon, correct? Like propane.
It's obviously dangerous in their own right, and they trigger these catastrophic landslides.
Oh no.
These landslides trap scavengers, burying them alive under tons of waste. Just last year in October,
methane suspected cause of Bekasi landfill fire.
A methane-triggered fire ripped through nearly 1/5 of this landfill, filling the skies of Jakarta with smoke.
Even the capital city got affected.
And so, there I was, on top of one of the world's largest trash mountains.
Knowing that it could catch on fire, knowing that it could catch on fire any moment.
And I'm thinking to myself,
presumably it is fatal.
2 primary questions came to mind. Just how far across Jakarta does the toxic health hazards of this mountain really stretch? And secondly, what the hell are all the scavengers collecting this plastic for anyway?
No, that's what I've been asking.
What are they doing with it all?
Now, how does it affect Jakarta?
In Indonesia, lime is basically white gold.
Oh.
And nowhere is that clearer than in the booming metropolis of Jakarta, with over 10 million people in this rapidly developing city.
Given that it is the capital. Although, I do remember watching a video by, I think it was Real Life Lore, mentioning that they want to relocate the capital because apparently Jakarta is not that great of a location in respect to other parts of the country.
Another 20+ million in the outskirting area. The demand for building materials is through the roof.
Yeah.
And that's where the lime industry...
Okay, so they're collecting limestone, and that's why all this trash is...
steps in. Taking raw limestone, calcium carbonate, and cooking it in kilns to create materials that are absolutely critical for everything from mortar to...
Okay, alright, so this is where it comes together, because I think he mentioned at the beginning of the video that what they're doing is very important for Jakarta itself.
Plasters to steel making, and notably, these lightweight AAC blocks, which are kind of like the backbone of much of Indonesia's construction. And
I see. I do know that limestone is also used in the making of chalk. But schools these days don't really use chalkboards anymore.
In Jakarta, lime producers use these massive old-school batch kilns, where they literally just layer limestone and fuel and light it up, and keep feeding it so that it burns at an incredible
Oh, wait. Are they using the trash to keep the fires going?
temperature for 2 days straight.
Is it specific pieces of trash that are, like, better at burning?
3, 4...
So these are all, like, kilns.
4, 5, 6 massive kilns.
Yeah, the only thing I know about kilns is that we use them in art class in order to glaze ceramics, among other things. I think that's what I know that they're used for ceramics and stuff, but yeah. Yeah, we also had chalkboards as well. These days, people use marker whiteboards and smart boards as well.
Only 2 are currently...
Or at least nowadays, that's what they use. I remember we had smart boards and stuff.
Operational. These ones are getting cleaned out in front of me. And then, again, just further on in the district is almost like an entire village that is...
And then we also had little projectors.
Operating exactly like this. Just burning this trash.
And the wood that they would traditionally...
So, right. So they are using all that trash for the kilns.
To rely on is...
That's crazy, man.
But cheap. You see where I'm going here, right?
Yeah.
There is, of course, a seemingly endless mountain of dirt cheap, rubberized plastic.
Damn.
Trash. And you can burn it.
All right, then. Well, at least the plastic is being used for something.
Trash.
Although I don't exactly know what the waste products are after that.
By the truckload.
So they're looking for good plastics in order to burn them for the lime.
By the time I show up, there's already families sifting through piles of rejected laundry detergent. Because hey, why throw something out that might be perfect?
Rejected laundry detergent, huh?
And these guys have apparently just like a ton of used washing detergent. There's something about that kind of like metallic look on this plastic that is just jarring.
I never seen detergent be packaged like this. The kind of detergent that we have is usually in a liquid form.
Finding these ladies,
I mean, I know that like solid detergents, like I know that baking soda can be used as a detergent, but
villagers here are going through all of it, finding the ones that are not empty.
Okay.
So they can be reused.
So they're okay.
I mean, why not? Why burn it?
They keep these kilns burning with just huge bundles of plastic. Workers pile them up, shove them in using these long bamboo poles. And once it hits the heat, everything just erupts in flame. Each new load sends massive clouds of black smoke rolling into the skies.
This is coming in thick now. Oh my god.
What? Yeah, I wouldn't want to breathe that in either. If it's just burning plastic.
And after burning away...
I know what burning plastic smells like. It's not a very pleasant smell.
For a few days, once the lime pile finally collapses into the kiln, it's time to haul it all.
And then we break it out.
Wow.
We break it out.
So here it is, guys. The final product.
Is this truly the most effective way to mine limestone?
Loading up everything from this pit, from this giant kiln that's been burning away for 2 days, loading it directly into this truck.
Okay.
Literally, one bucket at a time. It is slow and grueling work, but that's the process.
A couple of guys just loading the truck, 2 miners below, just digging away. They have these big arm sleeves on. They've got this one line.
And how much do they acquire after a certain period of time?
Just sort of lighting up the entire pit.
The lime is then bagged and hauled into trucks that will take it off for further processing into the AAC blocks.
Okay.
And at the tail end of this entire process, there's entire stretches of farmland that lie under this kind of thick, toxic coating of kiln dust.
Oh lord. Then that can't be good for the plants and animals within those
You
farms.
can just see these fields of like of waste.
Unless it's not that kind of farmland.
Just sludge. This is the very bottom of the kilns that it can't be used. It's not getting turned into bricks. It's just, and it's probably some of the most toxic shit on earth.
Ugh.
And it turns out that much of the food in this area is affected by it.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Studies
Yes, I know the song Whip It. Da 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 da. You must whip it.
sampling eggs from farms located near lime production areas revealed that they had dioxin concentrations around 3 to 4 times
Plastic waste flooding Indonesia leads to toxic chemical contamination of the food chain.
higher than the maximum safe level defined by national health guidelines.
Huh.
And sadly, plastic poison...
And so people talk about microplastics in our food and drinks all the time. No, the microplastics that we have here in the US are nothing compared to what they have over there in these landfills.
still manages to find all kinds of other ways into what people eat in Indonesia. And that brings me to what I'm calling trash tofu. It's kind of exactly what it sounds like, I think.
This morning, we're doing, it's sort of like stinky tofu, except you get the stink a different way.
It's a different type of stink. I've never had or seen tofu per se. I mean, I've seen tofu, but I've never had it or smelt it before.
Demented, like the Taiwanese would do. It's a little bit more challenging than that.
And so they're just making the tofu here with all this trash everywhere. Or are they making something else?
So this kind of giant water boiler here is being filled with this mix of wood and plastic. The
Oh
plastic's
lord.
almost like a fire starter of sorts, I suppose. It is probably also just cheap fuel. It's getting like loaded up under the bottom here. Whilst
at least it's effective.
The fire is cooking up there, getting seriously hot with all that trash. We have started to kind of like unload these soybeans that have been soaking.
And I bet that water's fairly dirty.
All night long. The beans then get fed through this just giant grinder and broken down into milk. They're then moved over to this huge trash-powered boiler, and they're going to churn away, boiling away for a good 20 minutes or so. That is wild. Just this huge amount of steam being pressed through these two tubes here, and that rumbling sound is kind of worrying them.
It sounds like that's going to fall apart.
Just standing next to the thing, it's going to explode or something.
I can't even see what's going on.
Boiled soy milk finishes cooking.
Okay,
they
so
pour
that
it
is
into
soy
something
milk.
like a huge cheesecloth. Some kind of giant soy latte.
Is this how soy products are usually made? At least not in this type of environment.
Is being cooked up from that giant pile of trash. Then two workers grab either side and slowly rock the whole thing back and forth. That swaying motion pushes the water out through the cloth, leaving the more solid curd behind. I still love this, using the like centrifugal force. Is that correct?
Centripetal?
I'm not a science guy. But anyway, you get
Yeah, it's where you spin something and it's tethered. Like when you... I'm trying to think of an object that would accurately describe it, but it's kind of hard to picture it.
my idea. Kind of the momentum forces the milk
But
out.
yeah, when something is tethered and then it spins around and it stays like... Oh, you know what I mean. You could probably figure it out on your own.
Kind of genius. But what's left in the vat is what we're after. That's the real prize.
Yeah.
They skim off the top layer of froth, remove some water, and start transferring that tofu into the presses.
Yeah. It doesn't really smell at all. It's just delicate and bland, and it's just gelatin. I
to
see.
shape it into blocks. They fold it neatly, and then
But I'm guessing this type of tofu is going to have a scent.
repeat the process over and over. By the end, you've got this hot, cowering stack with water steaming and gushing from all sides.
I mean, it looks pretty satisfying to
We
see
are
all that water
completely
just
racked
spilling
up.
out
The
like
water
that.
at this point is just gushing out of this thing. It is always amazing to me just how much more water there is left in this tofu. By the time you kind of think it's all gone, these presses, these racks,
And there's just more.
it's a waterworks.
And then, is that the... Or is it not done yet?
Oh, that is cool as hell. After it's sent into the mold, the tofu goes into these cold water baths to firm it up.
Alright.
Just gets floated for, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds as it moves along, so it can be passed from tray to tray to tray, remain kind of stick-free.
Is it done yet, or do we have to dry it off? I'm guessing that's where you dry it off.
And slice it down.
Soy
to a set
wax.
template, the perfect
Wax
size
candles,
for a
huh?
market block. You guys think?
You can use soy for a lot of things. You can use corn for a lot of things. We learned about that in, like, what was it? It was either in cooking class or it was on my own time. There's corn in a lot of products that we buy, including diapers.
He's a Luka Doncic fan now. I bet he's pretty happy about it. And then it needs to be colored. So we start crushing tamarind in this big mortar and
Tamarind.
pestle. The tangy pulp is going to become the key ingredient to give this tofu its yellow color. So we are getting ready for the final step, which is firing up this giant tofu cooking cauldron with, you guessed it, serious amounts of
Yep, we need all of this. La mineral.
plastic trash. And we add loads of tamarind. The tofu blocks each get their own share of the tangy mash.
You've
before
had a
they get
cooking
lowered
class
into the pot
too.
to simmer.
And so they cook the tofu and all of this.
And after a few minutes, they come out with this lovely gold yellow finish.
It looks like pats of butter. and I can see a bug crawling in it.
Despite everything, despite all that I've witnessed, this kind of work here is pretty impressive. These guys are doing detailed stuff, and while a little bit gnarly, actually looks really good. But that's
yeah.
not all.
I've never had tofu before, so I wouldn't know.
We've also got this second mystery technique here, something I've just never seen before, where each mold is folded separately. They wrap each tofu portion in cheesecloth, then roll it up by hand at just lightning speed, and there's teams of these guys doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been doing something like this for years, it basically becomes cakewalk.
Interesting stuff. But back to the yellow, it's time to eat some trash tofu.
Now,
Okay,
look,
then.
I've been told and informed by everybody here, trust me, that this is not the authentic way to eat tofu here in Indonesia. They don't just eat it raw straight like this. It's usually cooked. It's usually processed.
Yeah, I bet that I'm pretty sure they would do it that
There's
way.
some other way, shape, or form. So people of Indonesia, please forgive me for eating
Oh no.
trash tofu correctly. But
Yeah, I'm guessing they serve it with other things.
what I'm after really is the most unadulterated taste. I really want to try and get the essence of this. I don't want to really confuse the flavors, if you understand me.
Okay.
When you
So
smell
we were gonna take the raw. We're gonna get the raw experience before we do it the right way.
this thing, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's an ever-present kind of background here of that kind of plasticky aroma. But this tofu itself, as far as I can tell, doesn't really smell that bad.
Okay.
So at least from the kind of aromatic side of things, I would say this is a lot easier to eat than maybe some of the more fermented Taiwanese tofus that I've recently come across.
Oh really?
Obviously, the mental aspect goes the other way. And the health aspect, I'm not really sure either.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough blabbering. Let's go.
So what's
Look
the?
at that. The smooth, tofu-y taste. The sides, the outside has kind of like skinned up just a little bit. There's a little bit of texture. That gooey middle, there is, I'm telling you, no aroma other than that.
No aroma. I know. Yeah, I think Rody mentioned that it doesn't really taste like much.
And so far, that's pretty good tofu. I'm not gonna lie.
At least he likes it.
Right. One final bite, guys. You know what? I don't even really get any of that turmeric flavor. I just get that kind of smooth, buttery, tofu-y flavor.
Okay. Well, at least he
Despite
likes
my
it.
kind of, my misgivings, my questions about how healthy
Yeah,
this
I
might be
mean, it might
for
depend.
you in the long run.
He might, whether or not he gets sick later. Well, the video is almost over.
And this whole kind of like trash enterprise, I think on a day-to-day basis, there's probably a reason that this gets eaten. I don't think you can't tell. It's not like Pug Pug. It's not like Thinky Tofu. The tofu here itself tastes good. It's just the other kind of problems.
It's just all of the things that surround it rather than the thing itself.
That's right. Alright, that's good. You know, like food and culture is always the connection, but
Yeah.
honestly, the stuff that really excites me is otherworldly stuff, man. I think there is no better word to describe this than completely and utterly otherworldly. This place is trippy.
Okay, that's that video. Poisoning millions. What's really in Delhi's food supply? Well, it is India, but I don't want to harp too much on that. Alright, that was definitely low-key pretty depressing. I mean, I'm not particularly depressed at the moment, but it does give you a lot to think about, that's for sure. To know people's stations in life, knowing that so the people that work here only work here so that they could to build a better future either for themselves or their loved ones. So you have to at least admire the tenacity. But I will be right back and we will continue on after this. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. Okay, we'll move on from here. Yeah, there was those, the Religion for Breakfast videos that I wanted to take a look at. This first one is about whether or not Jesus really had long hair, because that's how he's usually depicted. It's usually, like, I know that the way that it works, like, within, like, ancient Roman depictions of him, he's usually depicted that way because it's considered more godly and more divine. But, I mean, we know what people from the Levant looked like in ancient times, so they didn't always have long hair. Now, granted, within Judaism, there's, like, something called the Samsonites or something like that, who don't cut their hair as a form of devotion. But whether or not Jesus was one of those remains to be seen. But there's always the possibility that he did have long hair as part of that little oath that the Samsonites partake in. But before we get started, make sure you check out Religion for Breakfast's original video, and let's go ahead and check out to see whether or not Jesus really did have long hair.
If you picture Jesus right now, chances are you're imagining a man with long flowing hair.
Yeah.
That image is everywhere.
I think John Green used to have long hair in 2016. I currently have long hair. Excuse me. My hair, my hair is currently in like a little, it's not really a man bun. I have it like double something. I put it in a little ponytail and then I fold it and then I put another little thingy on it, and that's how I keep it intact. I don't like it when hair gets in my face, which is why I do it in the first place. Probably will never know if he had long hair like that. Judas had him kissed to identify him because he was just a guy. No, that's how it is. You know, that's how it would have been back then. Yeah, because they all, I'm pretty sure most of us know what that, like, Levantine Middle Eastern look is. The olive skin, the black hair, black beards, and all that. Like, even within... Yeah, so, yeah, the fact that he was meant to just look like a common person. I mean, he was a carpenter, correct?
Byzantine icons, to Renaissance paintings, to modern...
Which is probably very fitting. He was just one of us, right?
Film and TV.
Like, I think even, like in the Old Testament, I think it mentions Moses looking indistinguishable from another Egyptian. And I know that there are some hadith that mention Muhammad looking no different from any other commoners in, like, Medina. So it pretty much checks out. The messengers being for the people, right?
It's so familiar that it barely even registers as an artistic interpretation.
Of course, there's a fucking camera in there. Oh, Lord.
It's just how Jesus looks.
I mean, I'd imagine if it's there just for scenic views, but that's about it.
The scholar Joan Taylor puts it, this image of Jesus has become quite literally iconic.
Iconic, you know, the iconic look. Oh yeah, I remember watching this video a while ago about whether or not his look is inspired by Serapis.
Earlier video, I talk about where some of that imagery comes from. The visual language of divinity in the ancient...
Yeah, it's partially because of, like, the Greco-Roman influence. It's meant to be more familiar.
Ancient world. Long hair and a big beard were already linked with almighty gods like Zeus.
Yes.
Over time, those visual cues got folded into how Christians depicted Jesus. But that's art history. Today I want to ask the more anthropological question.
Right.
Would a man walking around 1st century Galilee actually look like this?
It's possible. That's all we can say for certain.
Did Jesus actually have long hair? Now, to get oriented, we need a baseline. What did men's hair usually look like in the 1st century Mediterranean world? And here the answer is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Short hair was the norm for men across the Roman Empire. We can see this.
And that's just the typical Roman custom.
Almost everywhere.
They were usually clean shaven as well.
Look. Roman statuary.
I mean, there are some emperors that did have beards and stuff, but most of them, as you can see, they didn't always have them.
From the late Republic and early Imperial period consistently depict men with closely cropped hair. So, for example, check out these statues from the reigns of Augustus and Tiberius. That same pattern shows up in wall paintings from Pompeii, preserved when the city was destroyed in 79 CE by a volcano.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. One of the earliest depictions of Jesus portray him as looking something like this, without a beard and holding a little, what looks like a wand.
Domestic frescoes depicting banquets, shopkeepers, musicians, and everyday urban life, men overwhelmingly appear with short hair. And unlike those statues, these paintings are closer to snap.
And then, but obviously this guy has a little bit of, like, fuzz on him.
Snapshots of how ordinary people expected men to look like in public.
Yeah.
We see something similar in the mummy portraits from Roman-era Egypt. These are naturalistic painted portraits attached to mummies, mostly dating from the 1st to 3rd century CE. They represent real individuals, often middle to upper-class Roman Egyptians living far from Rome, but still fully embedded in Roman cultural norms.
Now, a lot of customs that, like within, not necessarily Christianity today, but a lot of those types of things, a lot of the things that we do have are like derived from Roman customs. I know what I wanted to say there, but I couldn't quite put it into words. You probably know what I mean. You have shoulder length right now, or ways of being inconvenient during food time. Oh, yeah.
And once again, men are shown with shorter hair.
Yeah.
So even across ethnic and regional differences, the grooming norms are relatively consistent.
Well, that's the thing. This is the thing with regards to Roman customs, which during the time of Jesus, like Judea and like at least half of the Middle East was under Roman control. And one of the things is that the Romans would allow you to practice your local customs and stuff, so long as you pay your taxes to the emperor and all that.
And even when ancient sources do talk about men with long hair, they don't mean shoulder-length hair in the modern sense. Emperors who were criticized for having long hair, like Nero, would still look relatively short-haired by modern.
Yeah, that definitely, if that's what Nero would have been depicted as, and they say this is long
standards. I mean, Nero still has these little curls going down his neck, but this is
I think I might know. I'm trying to feel whether or not I have that kind of curl. I mean, it doesn't really go that far down, but
not Fabio level hair.
No, it's not my hair either.
So taken together, these examples give us a solid visual baseline. Across statues,
my hair is relatively long and wavy.
Frescoes and funerary portraits spanning Italy.
But my beard is not that long. I mean, I haven't shaved it in 10 years, but it's one of those frizzy type of beards.
Egypt and the Eastern
Which is, I mean, a lot of beards are frizzy, but I'm just saying.
Mediterranean, short hair was the default male appearance. So what about Jews specifically?
Yeah, that's
all,
what we're talking about. Yeah, he's from Judea, so.
All Jesus was Jewish, and today many Jewish communities are visually distinctive when it comes to men's hair.
Yeah, well, it depends on the sect. Obviously here, the ultra-Orthodox sect, they have the little, they're not dreadlocks, correct? The little curly, I mean, there's nothing in the Torah that says that you have to have your hair look like that, but they do it as a form of just personal identification.
Side locks called peyot are
common
among Orthodox Jewish men, but it's not historically accurate to project those modern markers back.
Yeah, that's not necessarily. Yeah, like I said, it's not necessarily a commandment
to the 1st century when Jesus.
It's mostly a traditional thing.
Lived. In the 1st century Galilee and Judea, Jewish identity was usually not something you could read instantly from a man's hairstyle.
True.
In fact, by most visual markers, Jews living in this region looked a lot like their Greco-Roman neighbors. Archaeology makes this especially clear, at least when it comes to clothing. Textile remains from sites like Masada, Qumran, and Jericho show that people in Roman Judea wore the same basic kinds of clothing found across the empire.
Right.
Thanks to the dry climate of the Judean desert, this region has actually preserved some of the best examples of Roman-era dress anywhere in the Mediterranean. Among the thousands of textile remains are tunics, cloaks and mantles, belts, hairnets, sandals, socks, bags, and purses.
Yeah, deserts are very good at preserving those types of things, which is why we have so much from ancient Egypt and the Middle East, among other places.
Everyday items that follow Greco-Roman style rather than some sort of distinctive Jewish fashion.
Right.
One striking example.
Yeah, that's another thing. I remember watching some lecture by a rabbi mentioning that, yes, they are like, talk about how, yes, we are Jewish, and they would talk about how they were mainly, when it came to Jewish identity, it was mostly a religious thing. Granted, they knew that there was always an ethnic component, considering that, at least in Rabbinic Judaism, it's passed down through the mother. But even they usually adopted the cultures and customs of wherever they lived. And I'm assuming that Jews in Roman Judea would have done similar things.
Example comes from the so-called Cave of Letters. a tunic decorated with these vertical purple stripes called clavi, which are commonly seen on Roman garments. Paintings from the Dura Europos synagogue actually depict Moses himself wearing a similar Greco-Roman tunic. So as best
that reminded me of when
as we can tell from the
I already mentioned earlier there was a very old depiction of Jesus where he didn't have a beard or long hair. He had the typical Roman hairstyle.
The archaeological and artistic evidence. When it came to everyday appearance, Jews in this period generally dressed like everyone else. Their identity mattered a lot in social and religious life, but it usually was
ethnically speaking, it wasn't as big of a deal.
Not communicated through distinctive fashion. And that same logic likely applies to hairstyle. There's no sign that hair functioned as a clear ethnic marker for Jews at this time. In fact, we do have the opinion of one Jewish writer from roughly the same time, the Apostle Paul. In his first letter to the church in Corinth, Paul asks, "Does not nature itself teach you that if a man wears long hair, it is dishonoring to him?" And he apparently was appealing to a shared cultural expectation about masculinity and proper appearance. Other first century writers express similar views. One text from around the same time period bluntly says that long hair is not suited to males, but for delicate women.
By pseudo-Physides, but
We also have a rare piece of hair-related archaeological evidence from 1st century Jerusalem. In the early 2000s, archaeologists excavated a tomb in the Hinnom Valley, just south of Jerusalem's Old City, and they discovered a small
the only ancient Jewish male hair ever found.
Clump of male hair preserved from the 1st century. Over the course of centuries, hair usually decays quickly, but the conditions in this tomb allowed a small sample to survive. When it was examined, the hair turned out to belong to a man and had been neatly trimmed to around 3 to 4 inches. Though whether this tells us anything about the appearance of Jesus,
I don't know how long that is.
Jesus is unlikely. The hair was reddish brown, and the whole broader archaeological context suggests that this guy was likely a foreigner or
if that's the case, that most of the people that lived in that region would have had dark brown or black hair.
Hellenized Jew with connections beyond Judea. The burial complex includes Greek inscriptions, imported textiles, and signs of wealth. So this is not perfect evidence for a Galilean villager, but still the find gives us a concrete data point that this man living in or around Jerusalem in the early 1st century kept his hair at a moderate length and had it regularly cut, which fits neatly with what we see across the Roman world more generally.
Why does that one guy why does this guy behind me look like Sneeko?
Now, there may have been some variation when it came to beards, and one place this shows up is in Roman propaganda after the Jewish revolt.
Oh yeah, because I know that in the Torah, I think it mentions not to cut the corners of your face or something like that, and it's supposed to be a reference to the beard, but it's not as clear-cut as it could be.
Following the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE, the emperors Vespasian and Titus issued a large series of coins known as Judea Capta coins, literally Judea captured. These coins circulated across the empire and celebrated Rome's victory over the rebellious province.
Yeah, because this was after the Bar Kokhba revolt, I'm pretty sure.
They typically show a figure in mourning labeled as Judea. Several of these coins,
and it's meant to celebrate their second conquest,
depict male Judean captives, and they're shown with beards. It's hard to know exactly how to read this, though. On one hand, it may reflect something real. Jewish men in Judea may have tended to wear beards more often than their Roman counterparts. On the other hand, though, these are not neutral portraits. They're Roman propaganda, designed to communicate the defeated foreigner to a wide imperial audience. The beards may function as a visual shorthand for foreignness or ethnic difference.
Yeah, they could have just used it as a signifier.
Whether or not it was ethnographically accurate. So even if beards were somewhat more common among Jewish men in Judea, that doesn't imply anything like a visually striking style. The evidence consistently points toward Jewish men looking like men elsewhere in the Greco-Roman world. All of this might help explain a curious episode from 3rd Maccabees, a Jewish text written in Greek probably in the 1st century BCE.
Oh yeah.
It's not part of the Hebrew Bible.
There's like 4 books of Maccabees, I'm pretty sure.
But it gives us a valuable window in how Jews in the Greek-speaking Mediterranean understood their social position under foreign rule. In Chapter 2, the story centers on Ptolemy IV, a Hellenistic ruler who reigned over Egypt in the late 3rd century. According to the text, he issues a decree ordering Jews to be branded with the ivy leaf of the god Dionysus.
None of those who do not sacrifice shall enter their sanctuaries, and all Jews shall be subjected to a registration involving poll tax and to the status of slaves.
So they can be identified.
Those who object to this are to be taken by force and put to death. Those who are registered are also to be branded on their bodies by fire with the ivy leaf symbol of Dionysus. and they shall all be reduced to their former limited status.
Identified and subjected to special taxation. Scholars like Dr. Joan Taylor argue that this branding only makes sense if, in everyday life, Jews were otherwise visually indistinguishable from the surrounding population.
Right.
Now, one persistent theory is the idea that Jesus had long hair because he was a Nazarite. A Nazarite
That
was someone who took a special vow.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure there's something associated with someone named Samson or something like that. What is it, Nazarite?
Described in the Hebrew Bible, most clearly in Numbers chapter 6. For the duration of the vow, a Nazarite stayed away from wine, avoided contact with corpses, and most relevant, they didn't cut their hair. So long, uncut hair was a conspicuous, time-limited religious signal. Now, it's possible that John the Baptist took a Nazarite vow. The Gospel of Luke explicitly says that John didn't drink wine. But there's really no reason to believe that Jesus took such a vow. The Gospels never say he was a Nazarite, and they regularly depict him doing things that directly contradict the vow.
Okay, I see.
He famously drinks wine. He
turns water into wine.
Turns water into wine in the Gospel of John, blesses a cup of wine at the Last Supper, and is criticized by his opponents as a glutton and a drunkard.
I bet.
He also touches the dead, as when he takes a young girl by the hand and raises her to life in the Gospel of Mark. So if you're counting, that's 2 of the 3 core restrictions of a Nazarite, which leaves the 3rd. And if Jesus had been visibly wearing the hair of a Nazarite, we would expect someone to comment on the mismatch between how he looked and how he behaved. A man who appeared to be under a sacred vow, but openly drank wine, would have drawn attention, to say the least. But we get none of that. So the Nazarite vow—
the Gospels don't really talk about his appearance, since it's not necessarily about who he is in terms of his appearance. It's more just about the teachings, correct?
Vow actually might strengthen the case against Jesus having long hair. Long hair would have signaled something very specific, and nothing in our sources suggests that Jesus made such a vow. Another thing we might consider here is what we might call the stereotypical Greco-Roman philosopher vibe.
Oh, yes.
Pliny the Younger, writing around the end of the 1st century, describes a Stoic philosopher with long hair and a striking white beard.
And to this a tall, commanding presence, a handsome face, long, flowing hair, a streaming white beard, but they do wonderfully increase the veneration he inspires.
And he explains that this contributes—
Yes, all the depictions of, like, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, they all have, like, beards and shit.
—to the respect and awe he inspired. The Greek philosopher Chrysostom, writing around the same time—
when they see someone tunicless wearing a mantle, a head and chin long-haired, people such as these do not keep silent or pass by quietly.
Likewise describes philosophers as wearing longer hair and beards. And we see this—
Yeah, I guess that's another reason why one would want to depict Jesus with long hair and a beard, besides the obvious divinity aspect.
Idea carried into material culture. A 2nd century statue of Apollonius of Tyana represents him with a beard and shoulder-length hair. But here again we have to be careful. When ancient authors like Pliny and Chrysostom describe hair as long, they're working with a very different baseline than we are. Like I said earlier—
that's the philosopher aesthetic that Rhodey can get behind, yes. No, when I'm old and gray, I'm going to look indistinguishable from those types of philosophers. I'll be the first of the philosophers with the philosopher's stone.
Earlier, even emperors like Nero were said to have long hair, but—
Yeah, but it's not that long hair.
Modern standards, his hair really wasn't—
It's more like lengthened hair.
Wasn't all that long. This philosopher look helps explain why some later portrayals of Jesus give him longer hair and a beard, like in the sarcophagus carving from the 300s. It visually codes him as a teacher of wisdom worthy of respect. But this philosopher trope probably doesn't tell us anything about the actual hairstyle of Jesus. And one last detail, kind of gross, but I need to mention it. Lice were everywhere. And
well, yeah, I'd imagine they probably didn't have special shampoos back then.
All their years excavating the Judean—
You thought you could grow your beard that long? Don't worry, you get used to it.
Desert.
I mean, like, whenever I take a shower, I always shampoo my beard.
Archaeologists have found 10 hair combs, and 8 out of those 10 combs had lice. For a
their heads must have been itchy then.
Galilean villager constantly trapped—
Question is, were they aware of lice's existence?
And sometimes sleeping outdoors, lice would have been a constant problem, and keeping hair relatively short would have been a very practical response. So, did Jesus have long hair? We don't know, but probably not. At least not in the way we usually imagine it to be.
Yeah, at best, it would probably be like maybe shoulder length, a little shorter than that, maybe. It depends on whatever was typical of Judea at the time.
When we put all of the evidence together, Roman male grooming norms, Jewish material culture, ancient literary attitudes toward male hairstyles, rare archaeological finds, and philosopher stereotypes, the picture that emerges is fairly consistent. Longer hair on men in the world of Jesus was rare and not particularly neutral. It signaled something specific, like a religious vow, an aesthetic identity, or a philosophical persona. And when people took on those identities, ancient writers usually noticed and commented on them. And they don't do that with Jesus. That doesn't mean we can reconstruct his exact hairstyle. We can't, but it does mean that the familiar image of Jesus with flowing shoulder-length hair comes from later artistic and theological
it's mostly just an artistic expression.
Traditions.
It's an expression of reverence more than anything else.
Not from the streets of 1st century Galilee. He likely looked just like another Jewish man of his time. Short to medium hair, regularly trimmed, culturally ordinary. Sometimes what we think is the default view is not original at all. It's something that solidified later and just stuck, which is something Lindsay Ellis explores in one of
It's a flop world after all.
her recent video essays, where she compares Disney's different flop eras. Periods where the studio kept releasing movie after
even Religion for Breakfast is acutely aware of the remake problem.
after movie
I'm
that
guessing this is like, I'm guessing he's just advertising his friend.
just didn't land. Some of Disney's most iconic movies, like Bambi, were actually huge flops in their own time. But Lindsay examines...
that actually reminds me of Treasure Planet, I think. Apparently, from what I remember, it wasn't that good on release, but in hindsight, people remembered it fondly.
Why Disney's current flop era is different. Why a giant entertainment machine is turning out stuff that's...
as an April Fool's
so
joke.
blandly cautious, they're not even memorable enough to hate. So if you care about media, storytelling, and how big institutions shape what we end up seeing on screen, it's a very satisfying watch. And if you follow Lindsay on YouTube and you're thinking, wait a minute, how did I miss this? That's because you can only watch it on Nebula.
Oh, okay, so it is a Nebula...
If you don't know about...
Okay, I figured that it was a Nebula
You're
sponsorship.
thinking, wait a minute, how did I miss
Sorry.
this? That's because you can only watch
Bluey adults.
it on Nebula.
Because of course. Pourquoi, Bluey, pourquoi? And who the heck is that? Oh, that better not... Oh, this better not be that one guy. Shit. Okay, so that's that. That's that for that video. We also have this video. But here, let me... I don't know if I'm gonna be able... I don't know if I'll be able to clip this, since I'll only have 2 videos otherwise. But make sure you check out the original here for you without... And then, let's see, we've got... You have a pimple next to your eye, and it's very painful. My mom likes to used to pop our pimples. Excuse me. My mom used to pop our pimples all the time, and it was like, oh my god. But... do we want... we might have we should have time for this other Religion for Breakfast video. We could probably leave these as VOD exclusive, as much as I would like to clip one or the other. But I'm okay with leaving these as VOD exclusive. This one is about why fantasy magic feels so fake. Because, like, if anyone knows anything about how, quote-unquote, magic was practiced in the past, it's not at all like how it's portrayed in media. It's usually just writing some sort of incantation on a bowl or an object that is meant to just ward off evil. Like, people would write a scripture verse on, like, a bowl or something, and they would use that as a means to keep away, like, bad omens and stuff. But while we're still on this, make sure to check out the original video as well. And we're going to see just how fantasy magic, see how fake fantasy magic is.
Magic systems in pop culture fantasy rely on a few overused tropes. So consider Harry Potter. In the Harry Potter universe, magic is a rare, innate gift. You're either born with it or you're not. Ordinary people, the Muggles, live in a completely separate, non-magical world.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how bending in the Avatar series works as well. You're either born a bender or you're not.
Those lucky enough to possess the gift are whisked off.
The yellow bits is called pus.
To a boarding school where magic is taught like a science. There are textbooks, exams, research departments, and laws governing proper magical conduct. And spells themselves operate like precise chemical reactions. Say the right words, move your wand in the correct motion.
It's Leviosa.
And the universe complies. It's neat and satisfyingly rule-bound, and the result is a world that feels internally consistent and easy to imagine. But it also feels strangely sterile compared to what magical practice actually looks like throughout the history of religion. When
you are a Slytherin.
You look at magic around the world, magic was...
Yeah, something like this is how the ancient world perceived magic. Now, of course, the word magic is derived from magus, which is the term for a Zoroastrian priest that... I know in Arabic the term magus or majus refers to Zoroastrians in general, but the original meaning was specifically a type of Zoroastrian priest. And I know that according to the Gospels, the three quote-unquote wise men were Magis themselves, like Zoroastrian priests that came to greet him.
Not a separate system or a mysterious gift. It was part of everyday life, tangled up with religion, healing, craft, and artistry. So what can fantasy writers, showrunners, and game designers learn from the anthropology and archaeology of magic? To explore what's lost in translation, I'll be
100% Slytherin.
focusing mostly on the ancient
Yes, ancient Greek and incantation against pain from the 3rd century CE.
Mediterranean and Near East. The worlds of Greek, Roman, Jewish, and early Christian magic. That's just because this is my own subfield of expertise, but the patterns we'll be talking about are not unique to these regions. So in this video, I want to unpack 4 features of real-world magic that most fictional magic systems get wrong. First, magic is mundane.
Yeah, it's something that, for them, it's just a part of how the world works.
In a lot of pop culture stories, magic is almost always...
It's always something that's, like, out there, full of wonder, and you never really know what it means.
It's exceptional. It's a birthright, a genetic lottery, or a charismatic gift possessed by a special few. As I already mentioned, in Harry Potter, you're either born a wizard or you're not. In The Lord of the Rings, Gandalf is not just a particularly diligent...
Thou shalt not pass. I remember watching the Fellowship of the Ring with my high school friends more than once. We would hang out at one of our friends' houses. We would get high, and then we would just watch Lord of the Rings. At least sometimes. Other times we'd play board games as well.
Scholar who learned his magic, he's a lesser god in mortal form. Even in more scientific worlds like Star Wars, the Force still runs through the veins of the elect few. Whoever has the most midichlorians in their bloodstream. The message is consistent. Magic is rare and it marks you as special. And when it appears, it breaks the ordinary world wide open in spectacular and exceptional ways. Fireballs, lightning, portals, transformations. It's a rupture in the everyday. In these stories, the universe is a mostly rational place that occasionally bends for the extraordinary. But magical practice throughout history is mundane. And by that, I don't mean trivial or boring. I got a whole PhD in this.
It's worldly
stuff. I obviously find it...
That's what mundane means in this type of context. Something that's like bound to the physical world.
Interesting. I mean, magic is mundane in the sense of...
Yes, mundus. Yes, this word I'm pretty sure means world. I know that because there's this term called axis mundi, which means the world axis. So it just literally means just anything that's worldly.
The Latin word mundus, meaning the world. So in this sense, the mundane thing. I mean, magic is mundane and grounded, down to earth. And all throughout history and all across cultures, magical practice occurred in that everyday sphere. Kitchens, workshops, marketplaces, not generally in academic ivory towers or secret brotherhoods. Some of my favorite examples come from ancient Greco-Roman curse tablets. These were thin sheets of lead inscribed with a person's name and a short spell, usually meant to bind someone's body, speech, or fortune.
I think I remember... I'm trying to remember if there was this one, it was either from Mesopotamia where they were trying to curse somebody for some reason. I could be thinking of something else, but I swear I remember reading about that.
After writing the curse, the practitioner would fold the tablet, drive a nail through it, and deposit it in a grave or well or some other dark place, so that the restless spirits or chthonic gods like Hermes could carry out the command. They were a kind of everyday ritual technology for managing conflict. Having trouble dealing with a lawsuit? Curse tablet.
Yeah, let's go. No, Ethan Klein be like...
Want to sabotage a rival chariot team? Curse tablet.
Yeah.
Want to win back your ex-girlfriend? Curse tablet.
Yeah, no, we need to bring back curses. No, that one guy who cursed Leafy is here, and then Leafy is here conspicuously had a downfall not too long after the curse was cast.
A great example comes from Greece, dating to the 4th century BCE. I bind Kallias, the shopkeeper, who is one of my neighbors, and the shop of the bald man, and the shop of Anthemion and Philon, the shopkeeper. Of all these, I bind the soul, the work, the hands, and the feet, and their shops. I bind Sosimenes and his brother, and Carpos, his servant, who is the fabric seller. Of all these, I bind the soul, the work, the life, the hands, and the feet.
And for what reason was this made?
Basically, this was a business competition curse. So,
oh, okay, good old capitalism. Yes, we need to bring curses back.
So picture an Athenian neighborhood in the 300s. The linen seller is over there, the pottery guy is over there, the same-
And now, and here I am just trying to do my own thing, and these guys are undercutting my business. I need to invoke the gods and hope that they can sort them out for me.
Neighbors you see every day arguing over prices, competing for customers, and gossiping about one another's families. One of them, well, his business is not doing particularly great, and he's
I can tell.
fed up with the constant rivalries. So he decides to even the odds supernaturally. He takes a sheet of lead, and maybe following a template he bought from a professional scribe, he begins to inscribe a list of names. The shopkeeper and his wife, the bald man, the hemp worker.
The bald man.
Next door. He even curses the shops themselves. It's not the act of some grand sorcerer, but the act of a neighbor with a grudge, a spell.
That's what it is. It's basically like a glorified fortune cookie, if anything.
Born out of crowded streets, economic pressure, and the everyday friction of urban life. Another example. This cursed tablet was discovered at a sanctuary to the goddess Sulis Minerva in Roman Britain. Docilianus, son of Brucerus, to the most holy goddess Sulis. I curse him who has stolen my hooded cloak.
Oh,
whether
no.
man or woman, whether slave or free, that the goddess Sulis inflict death upon and not allow him sleep or children now and in the future until he has brought my hooded cloak to the temple of her divinity.
Okay, I see.
So our hero...
So this is some sort of ransom note. Well, an inverse ransom note.
Docilianus is missing his hooded cloak. What do you do? There's no small claims court, no police force.
There's none of that. Only the gods can help you there.
Trooper is far away in Rome, and here you are in a small Roman provincial town. And you might not even be a Roman citizen who enjoys special legal privileges.
Right.
So you turn to a curse tablet in the justice of Sulis Minerva to enact justice for you. So what we call...
Yes, here. Complaint about theft of a woman's cape. Laverniska complains to the goddess that her cape has been stolen. Yes, complaint about theft of Vilbia, probably a woman. Complaint about theft of a cloak and a bathing tunic, and then a list of names.
Magic in the ancient world most often involved small-scale rituals like these to resolve everyday crises. People turned to spells and amulets to fix problems that felt unsolvable through ordinary means. A rival threatening your business, a lover who wouldn't return affection, a child who kept falling ill, the hoodie gone missing. Magic offered...
Yes, if my hoodie went missing. Well, I have a bunch of hoodies. My parents need to slow down on them.
That extra dose of agency, a way to act when other options are failing. Another example. This one comes from Roman-era Corinth, where archaeologists found a lead curse tablet buried in the sanctuary of the goddess Demeter. The inscription targets a woman named Carpime Babbia, a weaver of garlands, and calls upon Hermes, the fates, and the spirits of the earth to completely destroy her soul and heart and her mind and her wits.
Yes, I entrust and consign Carpime Babbia, weaver of garlands, to the fates who exact justice, so that they may punish her acts of insolence, to Hermes of the underworld, to Earth, to the children of Earth, so that they may overcome and completely destroy her soul and heart, and her mind, and the wits of Carpime Babbia, weaver of garlands.
It ends with a plea for fertility. Make me fertile and destroy Carpime, from her head to her footsteps with monthly destruction.
Yes.
So again, magic is very grounded here.
I was about to make a joke about periods, but that might be very distasteful.
Very personal and not particularly spectacular. As in, this is not a battle between cosmic forces or a duel between rival chosen ones. It's one woman, probably living in the same neighborhood or guild as Carpime, struggling with jealousy, rivalry, or infertility. She turns
Could be all of the above.
to magic to augment her agency in a world that is constraining her. And the curse is a means to express anger, to appeal to justice, or to...
Yeah, even if it does nothing, it's at least one way of like coping with your feelings is just to write them down. I mean, that's why people write in journals and diaries and stuff, because they feel like that such things are not really worth talking about with other people, but when you write them down, it's like it helps out sometimes.
To restore balance.
I don't know if what I said made any sense, but I tried.
In a small but meaningful world, just a desperate person using the cultural tools available to her to address a social crisis. Magical acts like these were part of the daily religious landscape. Now, that's not to say every pop culture story treats magic as rare or exceptional. Some worlds imagine it as part of the social fabric, or...
Right, yeah. Oh, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Even a household skill.
I listened to this movie. I still haven't actually watched it.
Studio Ghibli's Kiki's Delivery Service weaves magic seamlessly into work, hospitality, and cleaning. Still...
Yeah, they're just aware that she's a witch.
Even in these more grounded depictions, magic often belongs to the special few. It's also not to say that examples of real-world magic were never spectacular. Some rituals were elaborate, highly intellectual, and even transcendent in their aspirations. A great example is the so-called Mithras liturgy from the Greek magical papyri. It's a long ritual text from Roman Egypt that guides the practitioner through a visionary ascent up to the cosmos.
Oh, initiates of this our power, which the great god Helios Mithras ordered to be revealed to me by his archangel, so that I alone may ascend into heaven as an inquirer and behold the universe.
Whoever composed this spell was not a village charm maker, but some sort of learned ritual specialist, someone trained in scribal Greek and steeped in late Roman cosmology. But generally speaking, across history and across cultures, magical practice involves ordinary people doing rituals to solve ordinary problems. Small embodied ways of grabbing back some agency in a world full of uncertainty. If fictional worlds gives us Hogwarts, the ancient world gives us the neighborhood marketplace. A world of mundane magic, where everyone knew someone who knew a spell. An enchantment was not a rupture in ordinary life, but rather one of the most familiar expressions of ordinary life.
So this is just something that they
did.
If
you're designing a fictional world, resist the urge to make magic rare or transcendent. Instead, build magic into the everyday machinery of social life.
Yes, that's something that I've had in my head in terms of my little OCs that I have. Like, for them, it's just a part of for them, such a system is just a part of their life and they're just used to it.
The ancient world, spells and amulets functioned like social infrastructure. They filled in the gaps between law and medicine. It's how people made things happen when other forms of power were out of reach. Once magic becomes part of ordinary labor, economy, and social life, your
Oh yeah, baby, you're all that I want. When you're lying here in my arms, I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. Does that answer your question? But oh yeah, that's actually how they kind of do it in Avatar. Granted, yes, you usually have to be born with bending, but even then, bending is baked into the economy in some sense. Like with Ba Sing Se, they have the little tram system that's run by earthbenders, and I know that in Korra they have those factories that are run by lightning benders as well.
The magical world will start to feel more grounded. Next, and somewhat related to the first...
It's in the... that song is in the North American PS2 version of DDR Max 2.
At this point, I want to turn to the question
magic as a profession
of expertise. Who actually does magic in cultures throughout history? In fiction, magical knowledge is not only something that is special, it is often the purview of a discrete profession or social identity, like a wizard or magician. Sometimes this profession is institutionalized, and you can learn magic by attending a wizarding school or joining a special order. But magic across all cultures is more often a distributed, overlapping field of
magical ritual expertise was distributed.
Practice. A flexible set of techniques and knowledge that circulated among scribes, healers, craftsmen, and clergy. A scribe who copied biblical psalms might also inscribe a
Yes, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, guard the bearer of this amulet. Holy, holy, holy. Angel Araf, flee, O hated one. Solomon pursues you.
An amulet with one of those psalms inscribed around the edges. A midwife might chant a healing formula while delivering a child. A stonemason might carve a protective formula.
Yes, 2 thumbs up.
Stone of an ancient theater to protect the city. A gem cutter could carve an image of a god that doubled as an amulet. Notice that none of these people had the job title magician.
Yes, we have a scribe, a midwife, a stonemason, and a gem cutter. What the heck is a midwife?
And that's because what we tend to call magic is not the domain of a distinct profession. It's an open field of ritual expertise that bleeds across social and occupational boundaries. Consider that Carpe Me Babia spell again. That tablet was not found in some hidden corner of the city. It was buried right beside an altar inside an active religious precinct. Whoever commissioned this curse likely sought help from someone connected to the sanctuary. And who would that be? Well, probably a priest connected to the temple and familiar with its rituals. The same people who presided over the sacrifices to Demeter were likely helping clients compose and deposit curse tablets meant to reach the chthonic powers below. Magical ritual specialists often operated through official religious organizations, borrowing its spaces, its symbols, and its personnel. I've referenced this a few times now, but we see the same dynamic in ancient Christianity.
Yeah, even like now that he's bringing up Christianity in particular, there are a lot of people will say that magic is considered like a heresy, but even then Christians were like writing down Bible verses on these amulets and stuff, and technically that would have been considered a form of magic, albeit it's not quite the type of magic that people think of when they say magic is heresy or whatever.
Monks, priests, and bishops often performed
I hope that made sense.
Rituals that we could label magical, even as they condemned such practices in others.
Yeah.
One example comes from the Egyptian abbot Shunuta of Atropae. In one of his sermons, he laments that Christians run after enchanters and diviners instead of trusting in God. But the story he tells makes the problem more complicated, because apparently some of these enchanters and diviners were Christian
Avada Kedavra is the killing curse.
monks. Shinuta says he saw people wearing charms, a snake's head tied on someone's hand, a crocodile's tooth tied to another's arm, and fox claws tied to someone's legs. When he demanded to know who had told them this would help, the man replied, "It was a great monk who gave them to me, saying tie them on you and you will find relief." What I like about this story is how it collapses the categories we often imagine between religion and magic, orthodoxy and superstition. Shinuta wants to draw a sharp line. Monks should heal through prayer, calling upon Christ, not through amulets and animal body parts. But his own community clearly didn't see things that way.
Yeah, no, it's like another one of those types of little disagreements. Yeah, the line between a magic incantation and a prayer can be surprisingly thin. Yeah, like I said, people will write down Bible verses and stuff.
People went to monks precisely because they believed these holy men had special access to divine power. The fox claw was thought to work, not despite coming from a monk, but because it came from a monk.
Right, because they're usually considered like these sort of intermediaries.
And Shinuta wasn't the only
between this world and the divine, but
one frustrated by this overlap. The Council of Laodicea issued an explicit prohibition against clergy performing such practices. They who are of the priesthood or of the clergy shall not be magicians, enchanters, or astrologers, nor shall they make what are called amulets. And
what are called amulets?
Those who wear such, we command to be cast out of the church. That kind of regulation tells us just how widespread these rituals were. If bishops had to warn priests,
and I'm pretty sure people still continue doing this thing,
and deacons not to make amulets and not to act as enchanters or astrologers, it's because a lot of them were already doing this. And we have archaeological evidence for this. Dozens of papyrus amulets from Egypt preserve magical formulas written by people who clearly knew their Bible and Christian liturgy. Many of these amulets contain excerpts from the Psalms, the Lord's Prayer, or passages from the Gospels, written not as scripture for reading, but as scripture for wearing. One remarkable example is this amulet I mentioned before.
I mean, that actually reminded me of a passage in the Talmud where, when it comes to how I don't remember what the context is, but the ultra-Orthodox Jews will wear these things that have Torah verses written on them, and then they literally wear them because it's either the Torah itself or something in the Talmud that says to wear the Torah while you're performing prayer. I don't remember what the line is.
It's inscribed with verses from the Gospel of Matthew, introduced by the title, The Gospel of Healing According to Matthew. The text is carefully arranged in 5 narrow columns shaped like a row of crosses, with a small person sketched in the center. The text has been folded multiple times, presumably for wearing, maybe in a pocket or in a pouch worn as a necklace. It's scripture, but transformed into a physical...
In its written form, it's the same thin line between warding amulet and an exorcism
talisman.
I bet.
Whoever made it probably didn't have the job title magician. It's much more likely they were some sort of literate specialist trained in the Christian tradition, like one of those monks that Shinuta was complaining about. So if pop culture gives us magical academies and magical chosen ones, history gives us a whole ecosystem of ritual expertise. There were no departments of magic, no formal guilds regulating spellcraft. No,
it's just a bunch of people trying to make sense of the world around them and using little good luck charms, basically.
No single class of people called wizards. There were just communities of practice. Scribes, artisans, healers, monks, midwives.
Crucifixion of Jesus amulet on jasper gem.
Stonecutters, each drawing on reservoirs of ritual knowledge to meet the needs of their clients and their neighbors. So when you design your magical world, consider imagining magic not as a specific profession. A world where no one calls himself a magician and there are no magical schools or guilds.
Yeah, this was just commonplace.
Think instead of a distributed ecology of magical expertise. A world where magical knowledge circulates through overlapping trades, workshops, and social roles. Picture a midwife who, alongside her knowledge in childbirth, also knows a few birthing spells. Picture a lawyer who knows a how to speak better in public spell. You could
nice.
envision magic as
there seems to be a spell for everything and
service economy.
Everything and anything.
Commissions, fees, client disputes, maybe even intellectual property rights. You stole my formula. Again, with none of these people calling themselves a magician as a specific profession. Okay, so far we've looked at who practices magic and how it operates in everyday life. But now I want to turn to what magic actually is.
Yes.
Or rather, how fiction tends to imagine it. Magic as energy. Nearly every major fantasy franchise today treats magic as a kind of physics or impersonal energy, something that is measurable, rule-bound, and something you can manipulate. RPG and fighting games use various forms of magical resource management, like mana points. Franchises like The Witcher and Dragon Age describe magic as a volatile energy field, something you can harness or overdraw if you're not careful. In The Wheel of Time,
obviously he's going to go into detail about how this isn't necessarily how it's supposed to work, at least in the real world.
The cosmos runs on the one power flowing through male and female channels that can be tapped and exhausted. In Star Wars, the Force is what gives a Jedi their power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together. Notice, it's energy. And in video games and movies, the metaphor of magic as energy becomes literal. Magic looks like energy.
Yeah, but You often have a Saint Benedict medal on you, and it's the first letters of an exorcism formula in Latin. Ooh, that's kind of neat.
It's glowing plasma, lightning, or fire, arcs of light bursting from wands in Harry Potter, geometric energy in the Marvel
geometric energy
movies. In these worlds, magic is tantamount to energy manipulation, and magic systems are often forms of resource management.
I know that's how it works. I think that's sort of how it works in Avatar, right? Because it's like, it's your chi, right? Chi blocking prevents you from bending and all that.
Complete with resource costs, cooldowns, and recharging mechanics. And this idea has a history. The modern picture
spells can't be used without MP, yeah.
of magic as an impersonal energy draws on a mix of influences. Early 20th century physics, loose borrowings from concepts like chi in Chinese religion, or older spiritual ideas like vitalism. The notion that living beings share some vital energy that flows through everything. But
I mean, it's not wrong.
The most important roots comes from the colonial Pacific, where European missionaries and anthropologists first described the Polynesian word mana as a kind of invisible transferable power. In 1891, the Anglican missionary R.H. Codrington published The Melanesians, in which he describes a mysterious force called mana, a kind of invisible power that could be possessed, transmitted, or stored. He writes, there's a belief in a force altogether distinct from physical power, which acts in all kinds of ways for good and evil, and which it is of the greatest advantage to possess or control. This is mana. It is a power or influence, not physical and in a way, supernatural, but it shows itself in physical force, or in any kind of power or excellence which a man possesses. It essentially belongs to personal beings to originate it, though it may act through the medium of water, or a stone, or a bone. All Melanesian religion, in fact, consists in getting this mana for oneself. Later anthropology.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other cultures around the world that have very similar concepts to that, although there are like finer, more minute differences between them that can be seen as more superficial, but they're all like some sort of energy system at the end of the day.
Anthropologists like Emil Durkheim and Marcel Mauss took up the term as a key to so-called primitive religion. Durkheim called mana the totemic principle. For him, totemism was the religion of an anonymous and impersonal force, and mana was one name for this force. Later in the 20th century,
that's sort of like how, like in some traditions, like, what was it? Some theosophy, or even like in Sikhism, it's like the many different names for God that exist, like Brahman or the Tetragrammaton, but they're all refer to what is essentially a single divine force.
Fantasy writer Larry Niven popularized mana after publishing his 1969 short story, Not Long Before the End. In Niven's literary world, sorcerers draw their power from a natural energy source called mana. But just like fossil fuels, mana is a finite resource. If magicians spend too much time in one land, they exhaust the land's mana and their magical spells stop working. What's striking is that nearly all of these theories, from Durkheim to Niven, were building on the same source. They all
call back to the Melanesian tradition,
to Codrington's initial definition. In other words, the entire Western idea of mana as a free-floating, impersonal power that you can possess comes from one missionary's attempt to describe what he heard from his parishioners in the Solomon Islands. But his idea of mana flattened an intricate landscape of meanings across Polynesian cultures.
Right, it's one of those things.
Even in his own lifetime, other anthropologists were already criticizing him for making his own superficial generalization of the concept.
I can imagine.
And nearly a century later, in the 1980s, the linguist and anthropologist
rethinking mana,
Roger Keesing, published a huge takedown of Codrington's definition.
And nowadays, mana is just a catch-all term. Crux sancti patris benedicti.
Arguing that in Austronesian languages, mana was not a thing or a substance at all. It was more like a verb, meaning to be effective, or to succeed, or to work. And when
crux sacra sit mihi lux.
Used as a noun, it was more abstract, like efficacy, success, or potency. Later linguistic studies argue that across dozens of oceanic languages, mana means something like thunder or wind.
Oh yeah, I know. Actually, I do kind of know about something like that, where obviously, okay, yes, non draco sit mihi lux, vade retro satanan numquam suade nicivana. Sunt malaquai, or I'm guessing I'd have to use ecclesiastical pronunciation. Sunt malaque libas ipse venena bibas.
Which it still does in some modern Polynesian languages. This sense of natural power was gradually applied to human beings.
Like, I'm pretty sure either that guy or someone else tried to connect it to biblical mana, which is this substance that the Israelites were given to consume out of when they were leaving Egypt across the desert.
Especially ritual spell.
Everything sounds good in Latin. Latin is definitely one of the languages of all time.
Specialists or chiefs believed to possess extraordinary efficacy.
I mean, like when obviously, like I knew that because this is sort of benediction, correct? or something like that, I knew that it would have to be the ecclesiastical pronunciation. But if I wanted to read all that with classical pronunciation, I'd at least need phonemic vowel length.
In other words, mana originally referred to the awe-inspiring power of the natural environment, which was later reinterpreted as the kind of potency or authority that humans could embody, sometimes understood supernaturally and sometimes understood in a more down-to-earth sense, almost like charisma. So one reason the energy model of...
Yes, all of these, mana is really just another word for riz. You heard it here, folks.
Magic became so
if you've got mana, you've got riz, or if you got riz, you've got max mana.
Dominant is to see it as the product of this intellectual lineage. Codrington's version of mana gave Western thinkers a language for imagining unseen power as something impersonal and transferable, and that idea proved incredibly influential, and it shaped how later scholars, novelists, and game designers imagined magic systems.
Right.
But it's only one way of conceiving magical power. Many cultures, including some of the same Polynesian...
There are two different mana inspirations.
Cultures Codrington was writing about understand supernatural power not as an energy you store or control, but as something relational. Power moves through correct relationships between humans, ancestors, deities, and other spirits. So returning to the ancient Mediterranean, we find a similar pattern. Whether invoking a god, a spirit, or an angel, ancient magic users rarely claimed to command power directly. They negotiated with it, petitioning.
The power was given to them, but it can be taken away just like that.
Flattering, and even threatening the beings who govern that power. Consider this spell from the Greek magical papyri, which...
Bear charm. Bear, bear, you who rule the heaven, the stars, and the whole world. You who make the axis turn and control the whole cosmic system by force and compulsion. I appeal to you, imploring and supplicating that you may do the NN thing, because I call upon you with your holy names at which your deity rejoices, names which you are not able to ignore. Brimol, Earthbreaker, Chief Hunt.
Illustrates this relational logic of power. The speaker addresses a cosmic...
okay, I figured that it would be in relation to Ursus.
Being called the Bear, a name probably connected with the constellation Ursa Major or an astral deity linked with the...
Yeah, the Hebrew one is a physical substance that was given to the Israelites in the desert, and then the other is the Polynesian energy system. And then here, obviously, there are quite a few, cultures across, Siberia and the Americas where the bear is highly revered.
Cosmic axis. Bear, bear, you who rule the heaven, the stars, and the whole world. You who make the axis turn and control the whole cosmic system by force and compulsion. I appeal to you, imploring and supplicating.
And of course, here's another thing to add onto the list of things that I read out loud, that the person that we're reacting to ends up reading out loud anyway.
That you may do the thing. Because
someone's eventually going to make a compilation of that, and we'll be here for it.
As I call upon you with your holy names at which your deity rejoices. Names which you are unable to ignore. Notice the user doesn't channel power like an energy source. They appeal to a being who wields it. Every line of this invocation is rhetorical. Praise, flattery, and pressure. It's more like a negotiation than energy manipulation. You're working
asking
a relationship in which the human speaker seeks to bind a divine being through praise,
I didn't realize one of the dippers was part of it.
Invocation and obligation. Also consider this remarkable inscription found in Miletus in western Turkey, carved on the northwest corner of the city's theater. The text calls upon the 7 archangels to protect the city of the Milesians and all its inhabitants. It concludes with a collective invocation. Holy ones, guard the city of the Milesians and all who dwell in it. These ovals resemble the protective amulets that people wore on their bodies. And here the same logic of protection was expanded to civic scale. The city itself was effectively given a mega amulet, a monumental invocation binding the archangels into a protective relationship with the city. So if you're building a fictional world, try reimagining your...
Yes, let's try doing this. If my little stories in my head ever comes into fruition, it'll definitely take inspiration from something like this.
Not as physics or energy, but as diplomacy. Instead of characters manipulating impersonal energies, let them navigate social relationships with gods, spirits, ancestors, or even sentient forces of nature. Every spell could be a conversation, a bargain, or a gamble. A curse might depend on whether the summoned spirit feels insulted. A healing might fail.
There's this one kind of like Saint Seiya, calling power from the stars, constellations.
Because a household god was previously neglected. Imagine apprentices learning the right tone of voice and not just the right words.
You have to learn, you have to make sure that you sing it in if you're going to be reciting this particular phrase, you have to do it in this way.
Studying the etiquette for demons, or hymns that could double as legal contracts. In fact, a lot of exorcisms actually draw from the language of lawsuits. A magician's power level could hinge on who owes them favors in the spirit world and not just their level of mana. If you design your rituals this way, magic becomes less about resource management and more about relationship management, a network of obligations, rivalries, and alliances with supernatural beings. All right, the next trope I'd love to see challenged is the idea of moral polarity. In a lot of fantasy worlds, magic...
This is taking a little longer than I thought it would.
And magic users are morally polarized. The Force has its light and dark sides.
Yes, you don't know the power of the dark side. Something, something, something dark side.
Jedi and the Sith.
Because look at this couch. Somebody threw out a whole couch and it's in great shape.
Wizards and Harry Potter have the dark arts.
It's Leviosa,
Arts with the
not Leviosa.
Theaters versus the Order of the Phoenix. And I know this is not a particularly unique observation. To be fair, in the last few decades, writers and showrunners have worked hard to complicate this old evil versus good binary.
Right.
Morally gray storylines and morally gray characters are kind of a hallmark of 21st century storytelling. But stories built on clear moral dualism like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars and their many descendants still cast a very long shadow over how fantasy and sci-fi imagine magic. But in the real world, magic has almost never been so neatly moralized.
Right, because it's just people trying to get back at each other for business, or maybe they're trying to earn some favors.
It's more often ambiguous. And by that, I don't mean we don't know if it's good or bad. I mean that the moral value of a ritual doesn't live in the act itself. It's assigned by the people interpreting it. A perfect example comes from the sermons of John Chrysostom, the fiery 4th century bishop of Antioch and later Constantinople. And his writings reveal just how unstable these boundaries between good and bad ritual could be. In one sermon, Chrysostom scolds his congregation for wearing amulets, charms, and even coins of Alexander the Great to ward off illness or misfortune. And what is one to say about them who use charms and amulets and encircle their heads and feet with golden coins of Alexander of Macedon? Are these our hopes, that after the cross and death of our master, we should place our hopes of salvation on an image of a Greek king?
Yeah, why follow a Greek king when we can follow the King of Kings?
You not only have amulets always with you, but incantations, bringing drunken and half-witted old women into your house. To him, these practices were heathen abominations, the product of drunken old witches, and evidence that his flock still trusted in idols rather than Christ. And yet, in other sermons, he praises the protective power of scripture in almost identical terms.
Right, because it's always about, it depends on the context, really. It's like, if it's something that we support, then yes.
He says, for if the devil will not dare to approach a house where a gospel is lying, much less will any evil spirit or any sinful nature. The scriptures are divine charms. Let us then apply to ourselves and to the pact.
Rules. I could say that it's rules for me, but not for thee, but at the same time, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Of our souls, the remedies to be derived from them. Chrysostom here seems to imply that a gospel codex, the actual physical object, might be able to ward away satanic power. And elsewhere he seems ambivalent about people wearing gospel amulets, perhaps similar to the one we saw earlier. And Chrysostom doesn't stop there. In another sermon, he urges his congregation to keep a small box for donations to the poor beside their bed. He says that by depositing charity into the box before praying...
And for this reason, let the little box be placed also near the bed. And the night will not be troubled with fantasies.
Their house will not be troubled with demonic dreams or attacks. He explains, but if you have this little box, you have a defense against the devil. You give wings to your prayer. And in another sermon, Chrysostom asks his listeners why they would ever trust in amulets when they could instead inscribe the cross on the forehead.
Yeah, just put a cross on your forehead. You don't need to waste all your money on all these needless knickknacks when just take some ash and then just
which affords invincible security. Do you forgo this and cast yourself into the madness of Satan? Elsewhere, he warns that failing to do the sign of the cross on your forehead renders you vulnerable to demonic attack. If you fail to sign your forehead, you have immediately thrown away your weapon at the doors. Then the devil will lay hold of you, naked and unarmed as you are, and he will overwhelm you with 10,000 terrible wounds. Here, the sign of the cross functions exactly like an amulet, an embodied protective sign that shields the believer from misfortune. But because it's sanctioned by church teaching, it becomes a defensive weapon of faith rather than a demonic superstition. What mattered wasn't simply using ritual power for protection, but using the right kind of ritual power. In effect, Chrysostom has replaced the
illicit protective ritual and licit protective rituals.
Amulet with the Gospel Codex, the charity box, and the sign of the cross. The same logic or mechanics of protect
or a bee on your forehead.
Magical power remains.
Yes, and even then they still made little amulets like that. And I'm assuming these might be Bible verses.
The idea that a consecrated object or a gesture can ward off harm, but he Christianizes the idea. A gospel codex in your house, or
no, that's one of the things allowed Christianity to spread across Europe, is that they tried to make it as adaptable as they could to surrounding cultures, like when they adopt like local holidays and Christianize them. in certain ways, although there are some misconceptions to that, but you know what I mean.
Gospel amulet folded up in your pocket, both are ritual technologies meant to repel evil. The difference isn't in the method, but in the authority behind it. So Chrysostom's double standard shows how the moral value of a particular ritual is socially—
Oh yeah, this was that, I think I was talking about this earlier, like one of the earliest depictions of Jesus looked just like this, where with the short hair, no beard, and a little, what looks like a wand.
Contingent. It's not about what the ritual did, but about who performed it and under whose sanction. What counted as illicit or licit magic depended on who performed it, for whom, and against whom. The scholar of early Christianity, David Frankfurter, calls this the ambiguous sphere of ritual. A lot of rituals are ambiguous, and the boundary—
No, that's the thing. A lot of people, like some polemics against Jesus, tried to accuse him of being a magician or a sorcerer.
Between blessing and sorcery, priest and sorcerer are constantly being negotiated.
I think he actually has a. I think Religion for Breakfast has a video about whether or not Jesus was considered a magician.
So if
it's an older one though.
If you're a world builder, consider highlighting the moral ambiguity and social contingency of magic, rather than having moral dualism baked into the universe.
Yes, I actually lots of there's lots of secretism all over the place. It's not really that surprising.
Now, of course,
but no, regarding what he just said, I actually do have that within my I actually do have that within my little stories, that there is that moral ambiguity.
Not every spell in your world needs to be morally gray. Some acts should feel cruel and abhorrent. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad he finally brought it up. Bloodbending. Congratulations, Katara. You're a bloodbender.
And The Legend of Korra actually handle this with nuance with bloodbending, a sub-skill of waterbending that lets a person control another's body by manipulating the water in their blood. It's horrifying, it's invasive, and the show treats it that way. But even then, think about who gets to say so. The point is not that all magic is neutral, it's that its morality is socially contingent. Let accusations of black magic or forbidden arts say more about the power of the institution making the accusation. Imagine a kingdom where the same healing spell recited by a temple priest is called divine, but if a midwife chants it out in the countryside, it's called sorcery. Or imagine a city where curse tablets are perfectly legal so long as you pay the temple scribe and dedicate them to the right god. Maybe your protagonist is a royal magic user whose protective spells become evidence for their demonic collusion when the regime changes. Basically show how institutions claim moral authority over ritual power, and that accusations of sorcery often tell us more about the accuser than the ritual itself.
True.
Okay, what I've given you here is not meant to be a grand unified—
Yeah, there's so much more that could be talked about with this subject, but you know,
magic.
We don't have all day.
It's a set of observations from the history of magical practice that you can use to make your worlds feel closer to the textures of magic in the ancient world. Of course, there are always going to be counter—
No, in the stories that I run in my head all the time, I'm always very cognizant about how magic would be perceived in typical fantasy as opposed to how it would have been perceived by people of the old days.
Examples and diversity. If we shifted our attention to West African divination or Islamic talismanic traditions—
yeah, even here they write like Quranic verses
or Buddhist amulets, we'd have to adjust some of the details. Again, you can always find counterexamples. Qi manipulation in Taoism, for example, does look a lot like energy resource management.
Right.
My point isn't so much that fantasy is wrong, it's that fantasy tends to reuse the same assumptions about magic. Magic is a rare gift, wizarding is a profession, magic is energy, and light versus dark. But history gives you way more options than that. So if you're world building, consider asking, can my magic be mundane? Let shopkeepers, jealous lovers, and anxious parents use magic too. Can expertise be distributed?
No, we need lawyers to... no, we're going to prove... you see, my client is not guilty on the grounds that he wrote an amulet to this particular deity to say, hey, can you tell me I'm innocent so that I can go home?
Monks, midwives, scribes, gem cutters, and temple staff all know a bit of magical practice and not just graduates from a genetically special prep school. Can power be relational? Make spells work because spirits were properly addressed, not because your mana bar was full. And can morality be social, not baked into the cosmos? Let rival factions brand each other's rituals as forbidden while doing basically the same thing. If you do even one or two of these things, you'll end up with a magic system that looks a lot more like the ones we actually see in the archaeological record.
Yeah, I'm doing that. The killing curse might not be morally ambiguous, though. The resurrecting one might be morally ambiguous. Yeah.
Creative, locally improvised, and always ambiguous. The archaeology of—
I don't know anything about Harry Potter, so...
Ancient magic reveals that magical practice was all about what can I do right now with what I have? A little bit of ritual technology for when the world—
At least I think that's what you're referencing.
...felt too big and the levers of power were out of reach. And that's how I sometimes feel about the environmental crisis. It's enormous, it's structural, and it's way bigger than any one person—
Alright, this is another nebula thing.
Alone. Fixing it means working at the human scale. Small actions in the face of vast systems.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to head off as well, so yeah, that'll be it for tonight. I do have to get up early for Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals. I've been practicing a new deck that I just built. It's a very complicated, it's a very high ceiling Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck, and I'm still trying to figure out the proper combo. But yeah, that's definitely going to be it for tonight. But make sure that if you're watching the VOD, to check out the original videos on your own time. Show a little bit of support to, I can never remember if his name is Henry or Andrew, which is, but yeah. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching tonight. Yeah, I gotta head to bed as well so that I can get up early, and we'll be back Monday to continue our playthrough of Sonic Adventure 2. Hopefully with a little less frustration, maybe. We'll see. But either way, thank you once again. I will be clipping the Shoe on Head video and maybe the one about the Trash Mountain as well. And those will be uploaded as standalones in due time. So thank you, everyone. Take care.